It's not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
All the kids want to get on and shit.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'll be damned.
At the count of three, I want you to tell me the name of my DJ.
1, 2, 3. And now, here's your hosts, Bill Winters and Mr. Throwback Thursday himself, Jamie Robinson.
We welcome you once again to the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast and live video stream coming your way through Periscope this evening. It is Mr. Throwback Thursday episode 254, and it is your two favorite dummies. One is up in New York, one is down in Virginia. Bill is up in New York wearing the classic TBT Posse sweatshirt this evening. Jamie is down in Virginia wearing a brand new Geek Like You creation.
Yes.
It says, hoped to be dope as me. And at least you have your Death Wish Coffee hat on.
Well, always.
Mine is up there. I just didn't grab it. But I have my specially made Boba Fett Death Wish Coffee mug filled with the proper coffee.
50,
so how are you,
OG.
my friend?
I'm good.
I hear Virginia got hammered with snow. Are you among the snow fallen, or are you not?
I am not. I don't deal with that stuff. I left it in New York. The boy is about 45 minutes away in Williamsburg, doing his college thing at William and Mary, and they got 5 or 6 inches up there. And then my uncle, you remember Fuzzy?
Yes.
Okay, Fuzzy moved down to...
Your whole family's going to be down there before you know
but he's in the mountains. Like, he's not here. He's in the...
Fuzzy looked like a mountain man.
So he got like 10 or 12 inches out there in the mountains. He lives in Mayberry. Not the actual town of Mayberry, but where Mayberry was.
Okay.
For TV, where they shot everything. That's where he lives.
I was going to start whistling the theme. And here's your trivia question for the evening. Do you know what the theme to the Andy Griffith Show was called?
In my world, it was called The Theme to the Andy Griffith Show.
It actually has a name. You know how the theme for MASH is technically Suicide is Painless.
Yes.
The theme to the Andy Griffith Show is called The Fishin' Hole.
Are there words? Because I know Suicide is Painless has words.
Has words, yeah, and they don't make much sense. I'd have to look that up. That I don't know.
Okay.
But that'll give me something to do during the first break of the evening.
And it's okay not to know.
Because the first break of the evening will come, as we normally do things around here, with...
or abnormally tonight. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, there's always... It's always a work in progress, let's put it that way. But the idea is... Hip-hop headline always is. And ability...
And Bill freezing on us.
Of possibilities, but we're waiting for confirmation on that. And we've got to through.
Wow, you are just broken up all over the place.
I was going to say, I could tell I was breaking up all over the place.
Okay. So you may as well just go back to, we do this the same way we always do, but wait, because you're frozen on the screen. This is going to be one of those nights. I can see it. See that? Connection interrupted it. Oh, boy. See, he's talking about my weather. He's got interruptions. So how's everybody doing tonight while we're waiting for Bill's connection to come back? We're on this gigantic 7-second delay, so I ask you guys a question, and then we just have to sit there and look at blankness. Is Bill connected to the internet? That's a good question. Why are they asking me the question? Is Bill connected to the internet? I am connected to the internet. You guys are connected to the internet. This is going to be a wonderful show. Thank you for playing, Gail. At least Gail is doing great. The rest of us, we're just kind of here, waiting for Bill. Working while you're listening, but are you whistling while you work? That is the question. Do you guys all have these? If not, you should get these before they're gone. I'm actually running low. I know I keep telling people I'm running low. Actually running low. There's 6 red, 6 green, and I think 8 of the Black Knight left. Bet your Bill's computer's shut down to do updates. Oh, now he's finally gone. We're going to copy that link for later. And you'll see why, because we're supposed to have a special guest. I say supposed to because you never know what's going to happen around here. As you can see. Has everyone also checked out the Christmas playlist on Spotify? Let me see if I can grab that real quick while we're waiting for Bill. Come over here, click on this. We'll send this over here. Ah, that's not what you want. Pay no attention to that. So this is our Christmas playlist. Look at 3 of you following it. It's very sad. 15 songs to make your holidays special. All right, that's enough. Now you gotta go. You gotta go and subscribe if you want to see the rest. Fancy, right? We're most definitely not going to make it through the show on time. All right. Let me see if I can find the hit us up link for you, Gail. Speak. Sign in. Who is this now? Huh. Okay. Hit us up is it's easiest if you go to their website and then it's right in the right hand side of the website, MrThrowbackThursday.com. It says hit us up. But let's see if I can find our page. We had a page where it said, this is your address. Now, I can't find it. Speak pipe installation. None of this matters. You guys don't care. How about speakpipe.com/ Mr. Throwback Thursday. See if that's anything. Yep, there it is. Cool. Okay. So I'll send it over to everybody. And that's there. Okay. Yeah. So we have something we need to do at 8 o'clock on the East tonight. So we may juggle things with the show and take things out that we would normally have and add some things we don't normally have, depending on how, well, right now, depending on how Bill's internet works out, but how everything works out. Check my volume levels here. Hold on. And then once Bill is back and doing things correctly, once Bill is back, we will be able to figure out what we can push through, what we need to definitely do, what we want to do to make sure we get because Bill's got to leave around 9. You guys want to hang out with just me? I'm here all night, but Bill's got to go at 9. Let's text him and see if he knows what's going on. So, let's see what happens. If you guys got any questions for me while we're waiting for Bill, I'm here.
Come on, son.
Otherwise, you just guys sit here and look at me. Watch me drink coffee. I wish I still had our technical difficulties. We used to have so many problems with the show. Kind of like this. It's so many problems with the show. We would just lose giant chunks of show. And it got so bad where I'd have to put in, we're experiencing technical difficulties, audio, just to cover up the gaps where there should have been show and there wasn't. But I was about to say, I thought we were past that. We're not. Oh. Connecting. The answer is yes, you are connected to the internet.
Hello.
Come on, son.
Welcome back to me, who is now on my laptop instead of on my Mac.
Whatever works, man.
Because I was not about to mess with this stupid Mac and the
spiral.
the pending updates that it really wants, I guess, to install.
It's Patch Tuesday.
So whatever.
Whatever, man.
But I'm back.
And we're back. And we've only lost like 6 viewers.
We only had 7.
Now we have 2. That's because you're back. That's right.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
Shit happens.
I still got this stupid fucking thing up in the background, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even fucking with this.
Okay, player.
So you get more face of me because this camera is closer to my face. So
face off.
Mr. Throwback Thursday. What are you doing?
What you gonna get, huh? For Christmas?
What you gonna get for Christmas? Hey, here I am. I'm back on the Periscope feed too.
You know
here
it.
I is. It, you know.
All right, you ready to start jibber jabbering?
Yeah, we could start jibber jabbering. I can't check comments through Periscope, but whatever.
Right. I will read you them if there's anything important.
Sounds good.
All right. So, how about we start off? I'll count you in, and you tell everybody what we're gonna do with this show.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's bring this back with a Shree. Who's your mama?
So this show, like every other one, should have hip-hop headlines. And we should have possibly an interview. We'll have to see.
Depends on how things are going.
And then possibly, depending on how long that interview runs, Woo News. So everything's a work in progress tonight. What isn't a work in progress is we have 2 records, one of which is another one and done that sent me down a rabbit hole of listening today.
That's good, though. I like being able to do that because that way I'm not just spreading the word to the masses. I'm expanding your library.
And a record of the week that we talked about, I believe, last week, and we're going to bring to everybody this week. We'll remind everybody who the artist of the month is. I'll read some lyrics. If we have time, we'll do a quick fantasy football update, and then we'll put a bow on episode 254. But in the meantime, and in between time, let us start with some Triple H. So why don't you hit me with a little of that Triple H?
This is Hip Hop Headlines, brought to you by Mr. Throwback Thursday.
We'll get on it. It's your turn.
Well, since it's my turn, I suppose I shall probably start with our first article.
That is a good place to start.
And you have it say, taking it from the top.
Tippy?
And it comes to us from Double XL Mag. And XXLMag.com says, Big Daddy Kane and MC Light recordings are unearthed for Rostrum Records' Top Shelf 88 project.
Yes.
More than 4 decades after hip-hop has evolved tremendously since its humble beginnings, in the Bronx, Rostrum Records is celebrating how far the culture has come in the form of a new compilation record. Top Shelf 1988 features previously unheard records from a slew of legendary artists, including Big Daddy Kane, Master Ace, MC Light, and more. The story behind the unearthed recordings from some of hip-hop's most influential acts is undeniably dope, with the new collection many years in the making. As the story goes, a small studio in Manhattan's Lower East Side became a safe haven for artists to work on perfecting their craft and to put industry pressures to the side. Unfortunately, the Top Shelf 88 studio faced a terrible fate when a riot took place in August of 1988 outside of Tompkins Square Park, with police and demonstrators clashing. After the chaos died down, the producers returned to work to find their equipment and masters were stolen during the riots. Shortly thereafter, the studio closed its doors and the status of the stolen content remained curiously unknown up until now.
It sounds like a, what do you call it? Home shopping network. Until now.
Until now. Top Shelf 1988 is many years in the making, Rostrum Records president Benji Grinberg shared in a statement. I'm so honored that we're part of this monumentous album. Our hope with the release is that it will inspire people to rediscover all the amazing music from this era. It's really a celebration of the artists and the artistry of the time. Now, after over 30 years, the recordings have now been revived and released via Rostrum Records. There's a listen to a compilation below, as well as check out a video of Big Daddy Kane reflecting on the journey to Top Shelf 88, which you can check out if you click on the show notes on our website.
Which you should definitely do.
Because we have them.
We do.
And
What's
there's
up,
some
Johns?
good names.
There are. This is a heavy hitter list.
Mm-hmm. Just to let everybody know, my Periscope feed is completely shot, so I can't see anything. I can't read any comments, so don't think I'm ignoring you. If you ask me a question, Jamie will relay it to me since I can't see it.
Because I'm a nice guy like that.
Yeah, well, don't want anybody to think that I'm not paying any attention to it.
No, I understand. It's when I always tell people when I'm looking up like this, it's not that I'm not paying attention to what's going on. It's I need to watch multiple screens.
Right. Our next article of Hip Hop Headlines you have just titled Cypress Hill.
Yeah, there was nowhere else to go with that. It was just...
No, because it's, oddly enough, about Cypress Hill.
Yes.
And it comes to us from TheGuardian.com. Cypress Hill Review, hip-hop's hazy visionaries are vindicated. They get a 3 out of 5 star review. Every stoner soundtrack to the 90s, Latin hip-hop crew Cypress Hill continue their remarkable 2018 comeback with an inspired set of old school meets modern. The haze in the room ripples like a CGI time warp. Everything glows violet. The poor visibility is not just down to dry ice. You could easily believe the smoking ban, the entire 2000s, never happened. Superstar guest DJ Mixmaster Mike, fresh off the Beastie Boys book tour, caresses the decks, deconstructing what sounds like Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water into a bassy 90s jam. He's standing in tonight for Cypress Hill's own DJ and producer, DJ Muggs, who doesn't tour anymore but is still a resident presence in this reinvigorated crew.
I never knew that Muggs didn't tour anymore.
I didn't know either until we read this. Engaged on multiple production fronts, Muggs returned to the Cypress Hill fold recently, primed with a Damascene musical conversion from his travels in the Middle East. It has relit the embers under this veteran hip-hop outfit like a flamethrower. As Mike unleashes the penetrating Eastern Mediterranean strains of Cypress Hill's newest album, time seems to shudder. We lurch backwards into the Eastern-tinged psychedelic rock that Cypress Hill loved before hip-hop.
Say to the east, backwards?
Maybe. And forward into the present day, where maragnant artists make a hip-hop adjacent Egyptian street music. Wow.
That's a
this
lot
guy
going
writes,
on.
Yeah, you're using a lot of big words there. We are but humble pirates. Producer Diplo refashions world beats into mainstream bangers, and Syrian wedding singer Omar Suleiman soundtracks raves. A nightmarish elephant god backdrop presides over the stage, its eyes lit ember orange. This is Band of Gypsies, Cypress Hill's amazing 2018 reintroduction. Old school but exotically current, a potent contact high as much as a song. It praises the potency of Kyrene hashish, just as the Cypress Hill catalog floats on a thermal of pungent Californian marijuana. The song's title must nod to Jimi Hendrix. Out of the shadows bounds rapper Be Real in chunky shades with a white keffiyeh wrapped around his head. His nasal delivery untouched by the years. You're looking at the last of a dying breed, he sneers. He's pretty lively on his feet for a thick-set man of 48, with plenty going on outside of hip-hop.
That's what I'm calling myself from now on. I'm thick-set.
Yeah, yeah. And fat is the new 40.
That's right.
Fellow rapper Sen Dog, wearing his own merch, retains his gruff authority. Everything you ever heard of is not a myth, he huffs. Later on, the 53-year-old will dance a little salsa. At the back, longtime percussionist Eric Bobo Correa, also ex-Beastie Boys, throws himself around an array of drums, turning most beats faintly Brazilian. There are any number of people bouncing around who loved Cypress Hill back in the day. There are an equal amount of younger fans making sounds of approval you might hear at a grime rave. Games consoles have had a big role to play in keeping Cypress Hill fresh. It is, as they say, lit. Few rap comebacks in recent years have been as musically convincing as Elephants on Acid, this crew's 9th album. Not just good for a veteran hip-hop comeback, but actually orally engrossing, a return to richly detailed boom after years of dabbling in rap metal. Side projects, most notably Be Real is in Prophets of Rage with Chuck D and most of Rage Against the Machine, and non-musical business interests. Eminem's Kamikaze relocated the August Detroit rapper's mojo this year, going platinum, but those tracks lack the unrelenting bounce of the re-inspired DJ Muggs, producer of House of Pain's annoying but unrelenting Jump Around in 92.
I'll go with that. And they never give him credit for being a member of 783. I don't know if that's by his own admission. He's like, no, that wasn't me.
No, that's another Muggs.
That was Grand Mixer Muggs.
There are no samples on the trippy Elephants on Acid. Muggs recorded musicians and looped from those originals, working with collaborators as diverse as Psych Outlier Gunja Sufi and Sadat and Allah 50 from the Egyptian Underground.
From the Egyptian Lover?
Yeah. It's a markedly different chemical state from most current hip-hop, slurry with Xanax, syrup, and despair. Yeah, every time I hear Egyptian, I expect Lover to follow it.
I do too.
It is therefore a shame that we get so little of Elephants during Cypress Hill's clockwork-tight set. They have a deathless back catalog of hits to get through. Weed Hop anthem Insane in the Brain from 1993's breakout Black Sunday album. Rock Superstar, dating from their first comeback, 2000's Skull and Bones. And are keen to finish at 10:30 prompt. Probably because they have to.
Or because they're just getting old and tired.
A booming Elephants cut, Put 'em in the Ground, fits right into the set list. Distorted menace to the fore. Be Real introduces the song differently, or diffidently, I says. By the end, he's pleasantly surprised. Maybe you have heard it, he beams at the response. Cypress Hill have more than earned this state of bemused pleasure, having been not merely a great pop band, but at the forefront of at least two other cultural tides now hitting a crest. In 2018, Cardigan Backyardigans smash hit I Like It united the rapper of Dominican and Trinidadian heritage with Colombian reggaeton singer J Balvin and Puerto Rican trapper Bad Bunny in a Latinx triple threat. But Gloria Estefan aside, the Southgate, California hip-hop crew were the first stars to incorporate their Hispanic heritage into their music and decisively cross over. Much like everyone is spiritually Irish in a pub when the Pogues come on the jukebox, pretty much everyone in the room is right there with Sendog, born Senen Reyes, as the Cuban-American Spanglishes his way through tracks like Latin Lingo off the band's 91 debut. Sendog emigrated to the U.S. as a child. Legend tells that Be Real's Cuban mother came to the U.S. on a raft. Those parents' fondest hopes must have been dashed, then rocket-propelled. The young Be Real, born Louis Freeze, got shot in the lung back when he was in a Bloods sub-gang. An inspired rendition of Lick a Shot provides further details tonight as Bobo adds carnivalesque percussion. Did you know that about Be Real?
I did not.
I'm learning all sorts of things tonight.
That's what this show's all about, man.
Shortly after that shooting, Sendog quit the thug life to become a security guard before hip-hop provided definitive escape. The distance between California's haves and its hustlers is written large in How I Could Just Kill a Man, just one of a litany of gangsta-era crowd pleasers unfurled at this gig. As the gig gallops on, old school and modern collide some more. Cypress Hill urge us to wave our arms for 30 seconds. For some Instagram shit, Be Real specifies. Then you can do what the fuck you want. Then there's the herb. Cypress Hill's smoke-saturated hip-hop didn't just widen their audience to anyone who skinned up. The band advocated for the decriminalization of the drug on medical, criminal, and sociological grounds for years. Now, state after U.S. state is legislating, keen on the tax revenue, as an illuminating conversation between Be Real and former Hawaiian Sophie associate Dame Dash has it on an episode of Be Real's internet-only chat show, The Smoke Box.
I don't know, where else would they expect his chat show to be? Is he going to be on network television doing a chat show? No, it's an internet-only show. That's kind of how most everything is anymore.
As well as running a rap and grass-themed media outlet, Be Real is himself a ganjapreneur. I like that
That's
word.
a nice word, yeah.
Selling his own strains legally at the Dr. Green Thumb's dispensary in Sylmar, California. Dame Dash has invested in Nevada's first black-owned cannabis business, G5 Cultivation. So you've got cannabis and ganjapreneur.
Well, most ganjapreneurs have a cannabis business or two.
I actually like these words.
Yeah.
Not only did these teenage gang members survive, the world they hoped for might just be coming to pass in some small part through the cultural work of their music. I guess you guys would say mental, right? Notes Be Real at one point.
You know I'm loco.
Loco, ese loco. Our next article you have entitled, Obey Your Thirst.
Well, yeah. There is no other thing to say.
I don't ever remember doing this combination of things.
Oh, no, they're not together.
I would hope not.
No,
because
God, no.
although and to be honest with you, I really rarely ever drank St. Ides. I think I drank it once.
Yeah, that was more mine.
And this comes to us from Vibe.com. Vibe magazine says, music sermon, not Eric's sermon.
Make some noise.
The groundbreaking Sprite and St. Ides hip-hop campaigns. Before rap was used to sell everything under the sun, the early 90s saw two brands put their entire business on hip-hop's back. Sprite and St. Ides.
And it worked.
Yeah, it kind of did. Today, rap music is used to sell everything from electronics to tax filing services to nut butter grinding machines at Whole Foods.
Hold on. Why do you need to grind nut butter?
It sounds like something you'd have to go to my job for.
Yes. If it's already in a buttery form, you should not need to grind it.
We understand that hip-hop culture is essentially the root of everything cool and hip in culture, period, and it's been commodified and appropriated within an inch of its life. But in the early 90s, the genre was far from Madison Avenue friendly. Aside from the groundbreaking deal between Adidas and Run DMC, brands didn't yet see full value and impact of hip-hop, except in the food and beverage industry.
And don't get all happy either, because Adidas didn't see it either until they went to a show.
And saw for themselves.
Yeah, DMC said, take your shoe out and put your Adidas in the air. And everybody had them in the air, and the Adidas guy was like, oh, shit.
So maybe we should pay these guys.
Yep.
Kind of like us talking about Death Wish Coffee.
Yeah, they should pay us.
Well, they do. And
they do, yes.
Goodness.
Yes, we receive product. We are very happy with our relationship.
Beverage companies centering campaigns for the urban demo around black music was nothing new. Coca-Cola had ads featuring artists such as New Edition and Anita Baker singing their hearts out for the cola in the 80s, and Schlitz Malt Liquor had a legendary and hilarious run of spots featuring the Commodores, the Four Tops, Teddy Pendergrass, and more through the 70s and early 80s.
Hey, you got to pause for a second. Hold up your mug, because John wants to see your mug. He wants to know what it is.
It is a homemade Death Wish Coffee Boba Fett mug provided to me by a geek like you.
I know those guys.
And it holds a decent amount of coffee. I think it's a 20-ounce mug.
It's a good size.
At least 16 ounces. It's a good size cup.
Yeah.
However, in the early 90s, two brands put their entire business on hip-hop's back by not only building their brands, but springboarding the recognition of the music and artists as a marketing and advertising tool, and these were Sprite Soda and St. Ides Malt Liquor, not to be mixed.
No. Nothing should ever be mixed with St. Ides, except for antacid.
And leave it at that.
Yeah.
In the 80s, Sprite was languishing behind competitor 7-Up when parent company Coca-Cola decided to focus on the youth market, and the quickly growing hip-hop culture was part of the strategy. African-American ad agency Burrell Communications tagged hip-hop acts for a series of spots that began a long-standing marriage between the brand and the culture, starting with Curtis Blow in 1986. It was one of the first national TV ads to feature a rapper. And are you able to play that ad?
Am I? Let me see. I don't know how.
Again, we don't know what the volume is going to be like, but
yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can grab this window for Jackie if she's still here. I'm going to try a window capture, and I'm going to say Sprite. And then hit OK. And I'm going to see if it'll let me have it. Because sometimes it does not like to capture Chrome. Yeah, it says no.
All right. Well, it was a thought. You could always click on it when you go to the show notes.
Yeah. It's not going to work. If I pull it up in Firefox, it may work, but it does some stupid things. Maybe it'll play the audio. Hold on.
Yeah, if we can just play the audio, maybe that's.
Yeah.
This is Curtis Blow with the latest trends. You got to know what's out and what's in. Talking about the taste, the one that's right. Now more than ever, it's right. Lemon taste and lime taste. Great lemon taste is tough. Without lime, it's not happening. So sorry, 7-Up. No, that's the trend. So tell it to a friend. We're chilling out with the taste that's in. Now more than ever. Now more than ever, it's right.
That is so Curtis.
It is. Now I'm going to have to mute this because it's going to jump up and play something stupid on me. Yeah, see?
Yeah, like it always does.
Yep. That'll all go
But
away.
yeah, Curtis is a unique cat. In In 1990, the brand kicked off the I Like the Sprite in You campaign using rap acts that matched the soft drink's bubbly energy, starting with Heavy D and the Boys, before partnering with Kid and Play the following year. The ads featured the artist clad in lemon lime fare, rhyming about Lyman. And I don't mean Frankie Lyman and the teenagers.
No.
And the fact that anybody else would ever get that reference is, not lost on me. So
no, we share a brain, so it's not an issue. It's not a surprise that I would catch it.
Nothing ever surprises me about me and you.
Yeah.
And I don't know. If you just look at the still frames from the Kid and Play one, they're wearing these bright green and bright yellow.
So Heavy's wearing yellow with green shoes.
With Crisscross, they turned it up a notch and had us crunk inside the Sprite can. Edgy. Also, this was catchy as hell.
Oh.
And you got the audio for the Crisscross one?
To the tick-tock, you don't stop. You put a can in your hand and just pop the top. Hey, yo, Chris, what's up, love? What's that in your hand? It's the S to the P-R-I-T-E can. Understand the course, Chris. Drink the crazy twist of unexpectedness that you should never miss. So what's your name? Daddy, M-A-C. And what you drink? S-P-R-I-T-E. Cause it's a lifesaver when you need thirst quenching like a kiss with the lime and twist. Now you know that's kicking. Word. So drink up is what you gotta do. Why? Cause I like the Sprite in you.
I actually remember that one.
Then in 1994, a young brand manager from Clark Atlanta University named Daryl Cobbin had an idea for a new direction. Gen X was about authenticity and independence of thought, not following the hype. Sprite ditched the pop-friendly crossover acts and identified more authentic rap artists, lyricists with street and cultural cred, to rep the brand. Lyman was also out of the window, as they moved away from marketing taste and towards marketing attitude. Cobbin later spearheaded the iconic, yet grammatically questionable, Boost Mobile Where You At campaign.
Okay, player.
Gone were the bright yellow and green sets, because while the new slogan said image is nothing, it was all about image.
Yeah.
Bright and shiny was traded for dark and gritty. Now we were in the studio, a fly on the wall for freestyle sessions. In the first spot of the series with Grand Poobah and Large Professor, Poobah closes with first things first, obey your thirst.
Mm-hmm.
It's legend even within Coca-Cola that Poobah ad-libbed the phrase that then became the brand's tagline that remains to this day. So obey your thirst came from Grand Poobah.
Yes, Grand Poobah Maxwell.
Back then, yes.
Yeah.
And then they've got all sorts of different ads and featuring, let's see, the first one was Grand Poobah and Large Professor, as they said. Then Pete Rock and CL Smooth in 94.
Yep.
Tribe Called Quest in 94.
Yep.
ARS-1 and MC Shan in 96.
I remember that one pretty clearly.
It's kind of funny considering, those two were at each other over the Bridge Wars.
Well, yeah, but they were standing in a boxing ring, and they each had a microphone. They would go back and forth.
Again, showing you that all that beef
Yeah.
is just used to make money.
Yeah.
Nas and AZ in 97. The Lost Boys in 97. And then it says, by the late 90s, Sprite had spent roughly $70 million on the Obey Your Thirst campaign, tripled sales, commanded a majority market share of the citrus category, which also included 7-Up, Sierra Mist, and Mountain Dew. Sprite had also succeeded in becoming an official and established part of the culture. They were family. The brand further expanded into urban youth culture through a partnership with the NBA, while continuing to involve the creative of the rap campaigns. In 98, they had Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Missy Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
Near the end of the decade, Sprite explored the overlap between hip-hop culture, comics, and martial arts with a series of posse spots based on Voltron, representing all hip-hop regions, and the 5 Deadly Venoms with all female MCs. And those ads are on there too.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, Sprite has continued to be one of the most consistent brands in hip-hop. We've grown accustomed to spotting the logo everywhere, from music festivals and shows to the background of BET's hip-hop ciphers. They revitalized the Obey Your Thirst campaign with Drake in 2010 and paid homage to the greatest lyricists in rap with the Obey Your Verse campaign featuring iconic rappers and cans with classic lyrics back in 2015.
I remember when they had the Sprite commercial where the kid's coming in, he's trying to figure out which can he's supposed to take based on which lyric he wants. And Rakim was the dude at
was
the register.
He was the
the cashier,
the janitor or whatever.
Yeah.
Cashier, yeah.
Ooh,
Yo, man, just pick one.
John Henderson throwing out a Mellow Yellow reference. Yeah, no, Mountain Dew was in that category. I don't know why Mountain Dew was in the citrus category. It's as citrus as Mellow Yellow is, but they're both really good.
Yeah.
Then they don't call me Mellow Yellow. I just like it.
No. St. Ides' run with hip-hop doesn't have the same happy ending as Sprite's. The brand's usage of rap petered out in the mid-'90s after wide backlash and a series of lawsuits. For St. Ides, hip-hop was the brand campaign. It's how they built their business. The brand was introduced in 1987, and their rap campaigns launched in 88. The malt liquor 40-ounce with significantly higher alcohol content than beer at around a $2 price point was already a staple in lower-income neighborhoods in hip-hop culture. The Crooked Eye capitalized on that. Parent company Mackenzie River secured Ice Cube as their anchor spokesperson and tapped West Coast producer DJ Pooh to spearhead advertising creative.
Not MC Pooh.
No,
DJ
and they are
Pooh.
two different people.
Yes.
Pooh lined up a veritable who's who of additional West Coast rappers over the years, including Ghetto Boys, Cypress Hill, Warren G, Snoop, and Tupac, plus the thoroughists from the East, including Eric B. and Rakim, the Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie, and EPMD. They got a commercial in 91 featuring EPMD and Ice Cube. They got one in 92 featuring the Ghetto Boys and Ice Cube. They got 92, Eric B. and Rakim. Because unlike Sprite's campaigns, which were first jingles and still felt like commercials even when elevated to trading hot bars for Obey Your Thirst, St. Ides spots, however, looked and felt like straight-up music videos with album-worthy production and flow. They got Cube's solo commercial in 93, MC8 back in 94, Biggie in 95. It says Complex even named Wu-Tang St. Ides spot Shaolin Brew as one of the collective's 100 best songs. But it's ranked near the bottom at number 97.
Still above anything You Got ever did.
Yes. Back in 94, the brand did turn the hottest of the joints into an album, with the St. Ides promotional mixtape dropping at your neighborhood liquor store. It featured full-length songs about getting twisted off the malt liquor from Cube, Wu-Tang, Scarface, MC8, Snoop, and Nate Dogg. The Snoop and Nate track is low-key a jam still. Homegirl in the background, starting at the 10-second mark, is a whole mood.
Unless she's Rosie Perez at the start of Do the Right Thing, she ain't nothing. She ain't bad. She ain't nothing.
This blatant marketing of malt liquor directly to black and brown youth wasn't going to go unchecked indefinitely. It was all irresponsible, even while being genius for the demo. In 91, the Wall Street Journal listed the St. Ides campaign among one of the worst of the year, which probably didn't matter at the time, since Wall Street Journal readers weren't St. Ides based. In 91, Public Enemy released Apocalypse 91, The Empire Strikes Black. The album featured 100 bottle bags, a direct criticism against malt liquor companies marketing specifically to urban communities. But they don't sell that shit in the white neighborhoods. Shortly after the release, St. Ides found itself in Chuck D's crosshairs, and he fired the first in a series of big shots against the brand, marking the beginning of the end of their love affair with hip-hop. An 80-second radio spot featuring Cube used a sample of Chuck's voice without his permission.
That's not a smart thing to do.
The ad had already aired over 500 times on rap radio shows when Chuck sued St. Ides' parent company, Mackenzie River, for $5 million. They settled out of court. Then, St. Ides and Mackenzie River fell under legal scrutiny from the New York State Attorney General in 1992 for using verbiage like Cube's lyric, "Get your girl in the mood quicker, make your Jimmy thicker, St. Ides," to suggest that the malt liquor increased sexual prowess. Can you imagine the think pieces if that spot ran today? They were later in hot water with the New York Attorney General's office again, along with the Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco, for advertising perceived to be targeted towards minors, with complaints that it glamorized gang affiliation and promoted sex. After having production completely shut down for a short while and getting hit with heavy fines, St. Ides tried to clean up its act, adding "drink responsibly" messaging into the spots.
Wow. That'll work.
By 96, The run was over. The run was over. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Hip-hop was growing up, getting money and moving towards more sophisticated alcoholic beverage choices. Alizé and Hennessy, anyone? The relationship between hip-hop and alcohol never ended, of course, but has continued to evolve to match the evolution of the lifestyle. We don't go to the corner store no more, homie, save a brief return in the early aughts of Four Loko. We're toasting to the good life with premium brands, some of which are now owned by the artists, like Ciroc.
Yes.
We can look back now with the wizened, woke eyes of maturity and possibly scrutinize our artists selling out at the expense of the community. But for the young and burgeoning hip-hop culture, both the St. Ides campaigns and the Sprite campaigns open the door for the power and commodification of hip-hop and consumer brands, for better or for worse.
I just had some St. Ides like last summer.
I feel sorry for you, man.
You can't do nothing for me, though.
And I can't do you none.
No.
Which I actually said to somebody at work today.
You're pissed off. You can't do me none.
And they had no idea what my reference was. But that's okay.
Kick that shit and walk away.
Our next article is called Like Ma Bell.
Like Ma Bell. I got the ill communication.
NewDiscoverMusic.com brings us Ill Communication, how the Beastie Boys fit the entire 90s into one album.
That's talent.
I actually like this record, too.
It's a quality record. It's no Paul's Boutique, but it's a quality record.
4 albums, and over a decade into their career, Ill Communication found Beastie Boys at a crossroads. Not that they were looking for a new direction, rather they were stretching out in any direction they chose. Fully ensconced in their G-Sun studio in the Atwater Village district of Los Angeles, MCA, Ad Rock, and Mike D had the luxury of time and space to develop whatever thoughts came to mind. Released on May 23rd, 1994, Ill Communication came just 2 years after its predecessor, Check Your Head, a quick turnaround in Beastie's world, and it built upon that album's move towards live instrumentation, simultaneously expanding forward and backwards. The hardcore punk of the early 80s incarnation, Tough Guy and Heart Attack Man, sat next to newly forged, rare groove-styled workouts, old-school hip-hop melded with the 90s postmodern aesthetic so that a track such as Sure Shot could mix jazz flute, which was a loop from Jeremy Steig's Howlin' for Judy, with a crisp drum beat and lyrics that cycle through references to 70s crime movies, The Taking of Pelham 123, and sonic pioneers, the likes of Lee Scratch Perry.
Ooh, let me jump in on Lee Scratch Perry real quick. Lee Scratch Perry, I don't know if anybody knows who he is. He's like 100 years old. I think he was born in like 58. He is a reggae legend. And our friends, the Wadka, just did a track with Lee Scratch Perry.
Yes. Yeah, they had sent us that, actually.
Which we're going to have to get on the show. We've been running low on time. No, John, I did not receive it on a zip disk. It is not the 90s. But yeah, we will get that in. So the Wadka's new track has Lee Scratch Perry. And we'll try to throw it in next week's show.
And it says, the Beasties add their patented goofy humor and a support for feminist politics. It says, listen to Ill Communication right now. And of course, you can listen to the entire album whenever you want through whatever streaming service that you like. It's the latter that indicated how much had changed in Beasties' camp since they hit the mainstream in '86. The frat boy antics of License to Ill were long gone. Here was MCA declaring, I want to say a little something that's long overdue. The disrespect to women has got to be through. To all the mothers and the sisters and the wives and the friends, I want to offer my love and respect to the end. Elsewhere, Bodhisattva Vow finds him rapping over meditative chants as he explores his developing Buddhist worldview. Beastie Boys were maturing in public, and it was fascinating.
It's like watching kids grow up in front of you.
Yeah. Despite the high concept elements woven throughout, Ill Communication is founded on Beastie's inimitable, anarchaic, do-it-yourself vibe. From the distorted vocals to the what happens if we stick this with that approach, it's an album shot through not just with the urge to experiment, but with the wide-eyed curiosity that keeps the whole enterprise fun. And then there's the video for Sabotage.
Yeah, they talk about a whole lot of this in this book right here.
Thrift store clothing and an almost guerrilla-style shoot on the streets of L.A. led to one of the greatest songs of the 90s, also getting one of the greatest videos of the era. I would say one of the greatest videos ever.
Sabotage?
Yes, I love the Sabotage video.
Because it's a lot easier to watch than Shadrach.
There's a reasonable argument that its 70s cop show spoof did more than anything else to kickstart the decade's retro fashion craze. And it had such a Starsky and Hutch feel to it.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
it?
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, try watching that Shadrach video.
No.
It'll give you seizures.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. At this stage in their career, Beasties' Try Anything approach went far beyond making music. Record label, clothing line, magazine, they got that. 2 years after Ill Communications' release, MCA would move into festival organization, helping to bring the first Tibetan freedom concert to the world. It was a million miles away from performing Fight for Your Right in front of a hydraulic penis.
Which made it we never got to see them.
But as a pointer to where Beasties were in the mid-90s, there's no greater example than Ill Communication Anything Goes approach. If you check their heads in 94, you'd find them all over the map. Deploying old-school tinged New York City hip-hop from L.A., Biz Markie and Q-Tip both guest shout-outs to the group's hometown are scattered throughout the album, and developing both as artists and instrumentalists. Tracks such as Bobo on the Corner,
which would be Cypress Hill's drummer,
Sabrosa and Eugene's Lament pick up from where the Check Your Head instrumentals left off. Folded in between the likes of B-Boys Making with the Freak and Root Down, they may be more about showing ideas off rather than tying them together. But they also enhance the group's credibility as musicians, laying further ground for the 1996 instrumental collection The In Sound from Way Out, and signposting 2007's vocalless album, The Mix-Up.
What's the difference between an instrumental and vocalless?
I have no idea. Maybe one has instruments and one is just scratching and samples.
Maybe.
More than that, however, Ill Communication is a microcosm for the 90s, a decade that's hard to pin down, but whose true innovators refuse to play by the rules, breaking boundaries and forging ahead with their own unique visions.
Yeah, they did.
So, I loved Ill Communication.
Mm-hmm.
I like Check Your Head, too. And I was a big fan of Hello Nasty. There's a lot of people who didn't like that record so much, but I did.
Yeah, it was the Hot Sauce Committee.
Hot Sauce Committee was a weird record. That I'll say. And
it's really, really saying something if it's a Beasties record and you think it's strange.
Yeah.
That means they've gone a little bit over the edge, but that, what was it? The Fight for Your Right Revisited. What was the actual name of the track?
Oh, I'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
Fight for Your Right Revisited is the subtitle of it.
Yeah.
But it was the track that they released from it. And it had a video. There's like a half an hour video where...
Weren't most of their videos like that, though?
Oh, my God. But this one had everybody in the world, and it had Stanley Tucci.
Stavion Glover.
You've never seen on him before. They went back and had people... Seth... Oh, my God. What's Seth Rogen?
Yes.
And... oh, my God. I can't even think of the kid's name. I don't know. Anyway, and Kenny Powers. I can't remember his name either. I think it's Kenny Powers. Anyway, had new people picking up the Beastie Boys at the end of the Fight for Your Right party video, and they were playing them. And then they come out and later on run into cops in the end of the video, and the cops are the Beastie Boys.
Oh, that's funny.
But in between, the whole video is crazy. It's a definite must-watch because there's a whole time warp conversion where the Beasties of the future come back and run into the Beasties of the past. And it's like John C. Reilly was in it. Yes, John C. Reilly was from the future with Jack Black and I think Will Ferrell were the Beastie Boys of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Danny McBride. That's Kenny Powers' name. Thank you, John. But yeah, so completely off on a Beastie Boys tangent.
Yes.
Elijah Wood. That's a little peckerhead I couldn't think of.
Well, I love the fact you're going a little peckerhead because he kind of looks like a pecker. Our last article of Hip Hop Headlines, you have labeled, "Will the real L Boogie please show up?" We have talked many times in the past of L Boogie, Lauryn Hill, and her propensity to show up late and not perform very long at all and piss off a lot of people. This is 2 weeks in a row now. We're going to give her props, I think.
Yeah.
According to hotnewhiphop.com, it says Lauryn Hill stuns London audience, arrives on time, and delivers the goods old school. Ms. Hill is back on. Lauryn Hill has some of the most loyal fans, some of the dumbest too. Not only has she sustained her relevance touring on songs that stems mostly from her first and only studio album, the artist has also managed to attract concertgoers despite her becoming notorious for late arrivals and canceled shows. When she does show up, it seemed like the quality of her performance was consistently on the decline. Fans complained about her classic songs being remixed excessively. If the tunes did align with their original form, showgoers complained about sound quality. Lauryn Hill's latest show points to her ability to move a crowd and leave them with a positive experience.
Oh, what?
A positive experience. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill's tour stopped in London, England. To many people's surprise, the singer started the show on time by her recent standards.
Okay.
Arriving 20 minutes past the start time as opposed to showing up hours late or even opting to cancel the event in its entirety.
Look,
hey, Wu-Tang started 20 minutes late when we saw them.
That's what I'm saying. 20 minutes is an acceptable delay. You know, there could be any reason that you get held up. Like Wu-Tang, it was a DJ problem.
Right.
You know, it could be anything that delays you 20 minutes. Hours upon hours upon hours and then only performing for 20 minutes? That's what we're normally running into from El Boogie.
While the sound quality at London's O2 Arena is known to be dodgy at times, Hill and her musicians managed to produce a show that was received as loose and relaxed rather than messy. She returned to form with her faithful performances of songs like the Bob Marley sampling Forgive Them, Father. Ms. Hill also dished out some wisdom to the crowd, speaking of love, hope, and gratitude. The importance of legacy was also shared. It seems like her own is back on track to maintain its unwavering pertinence. So, L Boogie, doing the damn thing.
It's about time. Like I said, we talk a lot of shit about her, but it's really sad to see what she's become after how good she was.
Right. I would agree with that statement. So
she's fun
that
to
is
pick
going
on, but
that is going to do it for Hip Hop Headlines.
It is
for episode 254. So we have a little buffer written into the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll move the break up to now, and if we have to interrupt the next segment for the hopeful special guest,
mm-hmm.
we will do that.
We can do that.
So let's take our first break of the evening and come on back to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 254, and we will start with a little bit of Woo News when we come back. Sound good?
Sound like a plan, man.
Did to me, but I just fake it till I make it.
Damn straight.
And you'll find that out when you come back to episode 254 of Mr. Throwback Thursday.
All right, Max Headroom. I'll be right back. I got to run upstairs. Sorry, man. Coffee in, coffee out.
And he's back. Oh, I know.
And we're back.
I know how that goes, man.
All right, let me see if our special guest is available or not. Let me message him. Still good for 8. Sure, everyone loves just looking at us stare.
It happens.
It does. I don't know if I want to kick into Woo if he's going to be ready. Even though I woo. Every time, John. And we're back. Let me see if I can find it. Get back in the box. Alrighty. Even though I woo. See, we're gonna unmute that one. It's gonna unmute everything. Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to take that, and we're back and put it into the board. Man in the can, get back in the can. Alrighty. He must still be eating.
Could be rabbit.
I said, "Are you still good for 8?" He said, "Ish." So.
I'm not proud of what I had to do, but it's one of those things where it's like I got a family.
What are you listening to?
I'm not happy about it.
The video from wrestling last night.
When you say you have to do what you had to do, what exactly did Corbin ask you to do?
He's trying to set his stuff up.
Aha.
All right. Well, the first article of Woo News is my favorite one anyway.
Yes.
Tasty. All right. So if you are prepared.
Sure.
All right. Well, let's hit this here.
One of our favorite moments in Woo News history.
So
you know?
Yeah, it is. Okay, so we'll hit that, and then we'll do the woo. So let's bring this with a Shri. Woo's your mama?
MC Search.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy MC Search, third base officially in the building, Searchlight Publishing. And you're listening to my man right now, Mr. Throwback Thursday's official podcast. Let's get it popping. It is not a game, people.
Killer, Inspector Deck,
That did not go right.
You God,
We're gonna try that one again.
Method Man, Ghostface Killer, an old dirty bastard.
So stop. One more time with a Shri. Woo's your mama?
The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Master Killer, Inspector Deck, You God, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, an old dirty bastard.
It's now time for Woo News with Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Welcome back to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 254, and we are indeed starting a little bit of Woo News.
Yes. Woo News will be interrupted. We will tell you ahead of time.
Yes, unless I go through it really fast.
Yes.
So, and Woo News starts with yourweb.com, Electronic Urban Report, EUR Web.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new one. I don't think we've ever used it before.
I don't think so.
And you have titled this, Where Were Woo?
It's a legitimate question.
Our favorite piece of Woo News has always been the story of Christ Bearer.
Yes, because we didn't know what the hell a Christ Bearer was until this little news article found its way into Woo News.
EUR flashback. Former Wu-Tang affiliate Christ Bearer on why he cut off his penis in a suicide attempt.
Okay. That's a whole lot of waiting to bleed out if that's the way you're trying to go.
Yeah. And let's see what this brain surgeon had to say. If I can get my... There it goes. PCP and meth and Molly and alcohol and no sleep. That was the main thing. No sleep.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Anyway, it says...
I will tell you, in all my time in the Navy, there were like times where I was up for 38, 40 hours straight with no sleep. Never, ever in that time did I decide, you know what? I am so tired. I need to cut my dick off.
Gail just asked us in stone cold fashion, what?
Oh, this was an
She
article
might not
before she
know.
was around. Yes.
So, after cutting his penis off in a suicide attempt, Andre Johnson, known as Christ Bearer, is revealing why he took such a drastic step. 5 years ago, when this show first started, we reported on this gentleman, Andre Johnson, known as Christ Bearer, as a Wu-Tang affiliate, who cut his penis off and jumped off of the roof of a building.
Yes.
And now we find out why.
Do we really, though?
Not really, no. Chatting with Vlad TV, the former Wu-Tang Clan affiliate cited a lack of sleep as the main reason for injuring himself, as well as a combination of drugs and alcohol. The aforementioned combination, PCP and meth and Molly and alcohol and no sleep. That was the main thing, no sleep. Really? Out of all that, no sleep was the main thing. The revelation comes after the rapper jumped off a second-floor balcony after cutting off his own penis. In addition to the drugs, alcohol, and deep depression, thegrio.com noted the fact that Johnson had baby mama drama in the form of restraining orders filed against him by all three mothers of his children.
Here we go.
As a result of all this, the entertainer apparently went over the edge.
Yes,
Despite claims from Johnson,
literally over the edge of the second story.
Good point. Despite claims from Johnson that Wu-Tang's RZA was at his apartment on the night the incident took place, the group itself has made a point of distancing itself from the rhyme sayer. Although media sources have reported on it, Vlad TV touched on the big question for Johnson, which was, did you cut your penis off?
That's not the question, because we all know that he did.
And his answer? Yes, Andre no longer has a Johnson. You know, I did, he confirmed. I fucked up my Nickelback in a lot of ways.
I can think of a couple.
As the interview went on, Johnson even claimed that he's proud of what he did, saying, I'm the only man ever did what the fuck I did, and I'm proud of it.
Okay, wait.
Now he's dumb.
There are lots of things to be, I'm the first person, the only person who ever, there's world records because of it. I don't see this guy showing up in the Book of Guinness.
That's not it.
Entitled it, The Ballad of a Menace. Oh.
Why? In the annals of history, I don't think you got anybody who ever did it. That was a flooper. We all done woke up from a flooper. Maybe not a flooper as big as me, said Johnson. How I jumped was just so heroic. I Supermaned out that motherfucker.
Wait.
You can see this wonderful interview with this stellar Mensa member if you click on the article in the show notes.
So he floopermaned out the window?
I guess. And he's proud of the fact that he cut his dick off first and then floopered out the window.
Because he's the only motherfucker ever done it. That's why he's so proud.
And I agree with him. All I can think of is Lois Griffin going, I don't know, Peter. Meth is a hell of a drug.
All I want to do is go to the Guinness Book of World Records website and see if he's in there for farthest fall after floopering out of a window with no penis.
I wouldn't even know how to reference that.
Just like that. That's what his record is.
I do know how to reference our next article.
Do you?
BrooklynVegan.com.
Yes, sir.
Again, Brooklyn Vegan coming through, and you have called it Woo York. Wu-Tang Clan sold out 36 Chambers, New York City, and Philly shows and add second nights to both locations.
Mm-hmm. And because they didn't do that right away, friend of the show has to go to the Philly show instead of being able to go down to New York.
Right. The Wu-Tang Clan recently announced Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers 25th anniversary shows happening at Philly's Franklin Music Hall and New York City's Terminal 5, both of which went on sale and quickly sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, Wu-Tang just added second shows in both cities, January 24th at Franklin Music Hall, January 27th at Terminal 5. Tickets went on sale on, tickets for the second show go on sale Friday, December 4th at 10 a.m.
14th.
Or yes, December 14th. What did I say? December 10th?
4th.
Oh, no, 14th. Never mind. I just can't read.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean I'm going to cut my dick off and jump off a window.
Well, we all had a flooper. What's jacked up about this whole thing, I'm going to put people out there.
I know the title of this week's.
Whoever, and you can look it up and figure it out for yourself, whoever was promoting this show and doing this show, they stole pretty much the exact artwork that Fresh Radio and Feed the Scene put together to advertise their show.
Yeah.
I think that's jacked up. Do your own stuff. You know.
Wu-Tang also recently did an NPR Tiny Desk concert to do a 20-minute selection of Wu-Tang classics. There's a video for that, and we'll touch on that in a minute. So, the tour dates, December 8th and 9th in Sydney, Australia. Oh, and the 10th. And the 11th. So 8th through the 11th in Sydney, Australia. The 13th, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Christ Bear.
The Roos. The 14th of December, Auckland, New Zealand. Then I guess they've taken a break for the holidays because January 24th and 25th in Philly, 26th and 27th in New York City. So, yay for the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yay, yay.
Yay, yay.
The next one you have called Nerds Unified.
Yes.
And this comes to us from AFR.com, which
Not
is...
AFH.
No, AFR, which is some financial review.
Yeah.
Why the Wu-Tang Clan wear their nerdiness with pride. When the rapper RZA visits a foreign city, he looks up the nearest chess club. His bandmate Raekwon searches for sneakers. Toast-faced Grilla tests out video games. On stage, they are members of the Wu-Tang Clan, one of the most influential hip-hop groups of the last half-century. Off stage, these men are unabashed nerds. Is that all it says?
I don't know where the rest of it went. There's a whole...
Where the rest of...
It's underneath. It's hiding.
I don't even have it.
Yeah, no, it's stank dubious. You can see right above the blue where it says the group is in Australia. It's like really faded.
You know what? I don't even have that.
Yeah. Let me reload the page.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, reload the page.
Let me reload.
Stupid, you have reached an article available exclusively for subscribers now. So they fucked us at the drive-thru. Hey, Jay Miner, what's up, man?
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
So, all right, so we know Wu-Tang are nerds.
Yep, it was a whole cool... I got to read it before.
And I am not going to subscribe to this just to get a Wu-Tang Clan article. So,
fuck right
hey,
off.
Wu-Tang are nerds.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang nerds ain't nothing to fuck with.
Damn straight.
But anyway, I wanted to get to this one anyway.
Yes.
Hip Hop Wired brings us the story, and you have called this Protect Your Tiny Desk. Wu-Tang Clan brings Shaolin to the National Public Radio NPR Tiny Desk stage, which they just referenced. And the intro to this says, the veteran hip-hop collective shows and proves that the Wu-Tang Killer Bees are still swarming. The mighty Wu-Tang Clan is continuing to take its victory lap after a year of celebrating the 25th anniversary of their debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. In a recent stop to the NPR studios, the veteran collective brought a bit of Shaolin to the Tiny Desk stage. From NPR, the Wu-Tang Clan gathered at the Tiny Desk to commemorate the 25 years since the release of the group's landmark album, Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers. With more than 60 albums between the various members, the Clan's combined discography left them spoiled for choice when it came to narrowing down the set list for their performance. The result was an extended 20-minute medley of songs from across the group's iconic catalog. The retrospective mashup of Wu's classics started with the posse cut, Triumph. Backed by Strings, the Green Project, the performance morphed into an old-school cipher as Raekwon and Spec the Deck and Capadonna traded verses with Master Killa and You God. Young Dirty Bastard, son of original member Old Dirty Bastard, provided a spark of energy reminiscent of his father.
Yeah, we told you about that after we came back from the DC show.
And you can watch this if you click on the show notes. We're not going to be able to play the whole 20 minutes because that's just crazy.
No, but you should definitely check it out. You know, all of the Tiny Desk concerts that we've talked about on the show are worth going and checking out. I mean, the Big Daddy Kane one was awesome.
Yes. And You God still sucks. No story. That's just the facts. Mm-hmm. And ODB is still dead. So Wu News went faster than I thought, thanks to Australia's giving us a flooper.
Australia gave us the gas face.
We getting floopered, man.
Sounds like a presidential term.
So what do you think? Shall we go right into our one and done?
I just got a message that said he's got to get himself visually ready.
Okay.
So we can start in on the one and done, and then if we don't finish it, people got a little taste, and as always, it'll be in the show notes. And
yep. Okay, our one and done came to us back April 7th of 1992.
And I will say before people jump on us about this one, because they're known, this is they had one record that actually charted higher than this, but I don't care who you are, you can't tell me a song off of it.
No. This is the second album by rap group Poison Clan, and it's called Poisonous Mentality.
It is.
And at first I wasn't remembering who these guys were, and then I remembered that they were on Luke Records.
Yep.
So they were
which explains a lot.
Yeah. They were a Luke creation, I guess.
Yes, and you will know track 20. I said track 20.
Yes. Which is saying something because this record has 24 tracks on it.
Yeah, but how long is it?
59 minutes and 27 seconds.
So we're talking about some short tracks.
9 o'clock. I have to leave at 9. So. Okay. So, yeah, we are talking some short tracks.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at track number 1, JT's Dream.
I don't know if I want to be inside of JT's Dream.
Jay Minor says they were lukewarm.
Ooh.
I've taught you for 3 years, instructing you in my Poison Clan techniques. Yes, I must tell you that the clan is a danger to the public.
You'd think this was kind of a Wu-Tang thing with the way that started.
You would think it kicks off, you're like, yeah, okay. I like this. I like Kung Fu. I like rap. Let's do this.
Track number 2, Inside Edition.
We're here with JT Money of the now infamous Poison Clan. And JT, we want to hear it from your point of view. Tell us why you're always in trouble with the police. Tell us about school. JT, your fans want to hear it from your point of view, in your own words. JT?
Mary had a little lamb and it was me. A rowdy motherfucker named JT. Problem child. Got on, got strong. Now they say I'm buck wild.
Track number 3, All They Good For.
This can't be good.
Time for them bitches with the weave and bangos, big earrings and Django. Walking around town looking all pretty, acting all some ditty, attitude shitty. You can't front on me, bitch, I know yeah. You was valedictorian of my class. Used to copy your papers, you little nerd. Now you trying to get fly, that shit's for the birds.
It's just for the birds.
Track 4 is 18 seconds long, called Uzi Gets Shot. Goes right into track 5, featuring Licky Wicked, called Action.
Action.
Good boy. I respect girls. If I was you, I wouldn't even make no records like that. I don't even stay.
Oh, puss ass nigga, I hate a fuck nigga.
Then I got you for the long time. Hey, give him 2 more to the Mark 10. Blood clot. Anyway, what the action ever tonight? Now hear this. Our rude boy putting a gun pan cock. I want to see them JT. Hear this, check this out. Any pussy will taste, but I just murder them, then. Cause I be an action where they defend. And I mean your Uzi run thing for years. So just come in at this, then. And tell the people them why here.
DJ Quick Track there.
Me and this cat did a caper. 2 young niggas about getting paper. We touched a nigga we heard who had big grip. Walking around with 5 or 6.
It's almost like Ice Cube trying to do a Miami bass sound.
Yeah, I gotta go back because whatever that music was in the background there, that was a DJ Quick Track. I don't know where it came from originally, but that's what that was.
You gonna play it again?
No.
Okay.
Later on, I have to go and.
Okay. Track number 6, Living in the City.
Times out there going on right now. Man, shit be out there. You got them real niggas and them fake niggas. Then you got them coochie ass niggas who say they down when they ain't down. My nigga, y'all niggas better get together, boy, cause this shit real.
Where I'm from, the M-I-A-M-I. Y'all nigga got strong, now he's too fly. Cause of what he has in his possession. Few keys of coke and some pounds of that session. And a flurry of hoes. Drop top, flip flops, hammers and lows. Now he don't holler at the fellas.
It went double copper. That's funny. I'd be interested to listen to this whole thing front to back.
You should.
And find out how many Nickelback they throw out there. There's a lot of them. Track number 7, 18 seconds long. Raymond Up the Road goes right into track number 8, Fugitive.
To the cops of Suffolk County.
I see Raymond in the county, my nigga, Platinum Helm nigga chair. Hey, I see Raymond making up another nigga bed.
I see Shorty T and 3 other niggas playing strip poker.
What you're about to hear is basically on the minds of all young black men. The only way they figure they can get out of this rundown society, the only way to live, they consider themselves as fugitives.
So what? I got a dark complexion and gold teeth. Is that a reason to call the police?
Our special guest is worried because he's going to jump right in, not knowing if his audio is good, if his video is good. So, we're going to have a special guest, and excuse the fumbles and stumbles when we try to set up for the first time. It will be cleaned up on Thursday. If you want to check the audio, it'll seem like none of this ever happened.
Okay.
So we're going to pause.
So we'll pause. We'll bring in the special guest, and we'll go back to the record after.
Let me see if I can get him.
God, I hope I have enough time.
Yeah. We will figure something out.
I was going to say, I may have to bring my computer and do it at lunch tomorrow like we did last time I was in Newburgh.
Yeah, we make things work.
Yes, we do.
Because really, all we'll have to do is what we can do is once we log off, if we run short on time, what we can just have you do is intro each track for the record of the week, and then I'll lay them in post.
After.
Yep. And then we may have to have everybody just tune in to hear Bill Reed's lyrics on Thursday.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, I sent Palmas a link. Oh, cat's out the bag. All right, let's kick another track while we're waiting.
Okay, then let's say track number 9, Ho Stories.
Right, remember back in the day, niggas was skipping shit, right? We said, fuck with the hoes and see you kick little rounds and shit. Hey, I want you to do some of the same shit, man. Like, that's back in the days. I want you to do this one for all the boys around the way. You know what I'm saying? Same shit about all of the stank bitch.
Hey, yo, met a hoe named Sonya. Say, hey, baby doll, let a nigga get on ya. She was with it, but one thing. She had one leg and walked with a cane. I couldn't tell because he was...
She had one leg and walked with a cane.
Track number 10, JT's Confession. It's 39 seconds long, and it goes into track number 11, featuring Devastator, called I Hate Hoes.
Hello, everybody. This is JT Money, the bitchizer. I have a confession to make. Now, I know I make records like I Hate Hoes and
yeah, we're gonna hear that one.
And in my nature, you guess. Now, I know I talk a lot of shit about you, how I hate you. But you know what? I love my bitches. I love all my bitches. I got to love my bitch because I'm a pimp. My bitch makes me rich. Fuck that shit. Y'all regulars know I hate y'all. I hate y'all motherfuckers. Check this out.
Hey, yo, life's a bitch, so I marry one. A nigga in love with a bitch is very dumb. The BC is hoe haters. That's the motherfucking reason all hoes haters. But I don't give
Hoe
a
haters.
fuck. Cause all a bitch good for is a suck and a quick nut. Trying to get a nigga rich.
Hoe haters, like potators.
Did I do that for Bill Reed's lyrics
Did I
at one
do
point?
that? Yes, you did.
I thought I did. Track number 12 is 15 seconds long, called Drugs Bullshittin', and it goes into number 13, Rough Nickelback Getting Busy.
Kid, yo, I heard your shit, man. Yo, your shit is mad weak. I'm telling you, your shit sound bugged. Yo, I was in New York the other day. Yo, them brothers gets mad busy. I'm telling you, yo, styles coming left and right. Yo, shit is kind of fly. Yo, I'm telling you, man, you better get with it.
I expect Chub Rock all of a sudden.
Can you even hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Now we can.
But can you hear this?
Yes. Can you
Really?
hear this?
Okay.
Right back at you.
All right. Well, I didn't know if it was going to be this microphone. Is there a way to hear myself?
I don't know.
Probably not. I'll just do this. And I can. But does this screw anything up? Do you hear like 3 of me?
Nope. Got you good.
All right. Good.
Yeah. Everybody else hears you, but they don't know who you are yet because they don't get to see the screen yet. They're looking at the Spotify's page right now.
I'm the theme song.
You are the theme song.
Yes, we said that. So I think we'll pause after Rough Nickelback's Getting Busy. We got to remember we start on track 14.
Yeah,
so
I got it paused.
Let's do the thing.
Let's introduce our special guest.
Yes.
Let's unveil him. I was getting like a big sweeper effect to come across, but I don't have one.
Do I get to see what anyone else sees, or is that all only later? Do you like?
You can see
that?
If you go to Periscope.
I should have been recording. There we go.
If you go to Periscope and go under my Twitter name, you can see. You can be in the.
That's
chat.
on my phone, right?
Can be. You can pull it up on your computer too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I used Periscope. It's been forever.
Yeah. No, I completely forgot about it, and then I said, Facebook kept kicking us off for using music, and we said, "Fuck it, let's find somewhere that won't." So we did. Yeah.
Well,
They were
I don't want to interrupt anything. I'll just do this in the background.
Yeah, you're good. Let me see. Might be able to send you a link straight to it. Share. Copy link. I say copy link. There we go. We'll come back over here.
Why does that sound like a Mod Squad reference?
Can't copy link. He was a one of a kind.
There's only one, yes.
And he's the shit. All right. Does that take you there?
I feel like I should have some background music going or something.
We should have worked up a theme song for you.
Like I have my own.
See,
the original
send
theme.
it to me and I'll drop it in for when you come in. And it'll be your intro to the show. Just drop right in there.
I apparently have an existing Periscope account.
Well, that's good. I mean, you can log in with anything. You can log in with Twitter. You can log in with Facebook.
That's assuming any of these are going to work.
Assuming I can remember a password.
Should be getting a code. I mean, I don't have to be doing this. I'm just wasting time, I think.
Well, some of us have time. Some of us don't. I have all the time in the world, as everybody should know by now. I do nothing. I go nowhere.
Me, I do everything and go everywhere.
Somebody's got to. Got to go out and pay those taxes to pay my retirement.
Shit he could be doing.
Yes.
Oh, is there a profanity limit?
No.
Yeah, we just...
it's not a De La Soul concert.
No, we never use the N-word because we got called out on it. So anytime that comes up in either a song title or lyrics or anything, I substitute the N-word with Nickelback because people find that more disgusting anyway.
Yeah, that's offensive.
Yes.
But I'm figuring when we talk to you, you won't have the need to use the N-word.
Nickelbacks with attitudes. makes things a lot funnier that way.
Speaking of, have you seen the preview for the Deadpool? Was it
Christmas thing?
Yeah. Have you seen the
I
whole?
I don't really watch pop culture.
My God, there's a whole trailer for it, and it's him with what's his? Oh my God, what's the kid's name? He's not a kid anymore. From Princess Bride, the one who
back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore.
Indeed,
he's all a mod.
Fuck, I can't think of his name.
Now I'll have to call him Nickelbackero.
Who was the kid from the Wonder Years?
Fred Savage?
That one. So he was in The Princess Bride. You know, he was the little kid in...
Is there somebody talking that I can't see?
I don't know. Who can you see?
Oh, it's interesting.
You probably...
is the Periscope like super behind or something?
Yeah, it's probably like
10
Periscope
seconds
is
or
usually
about 10 seconds behind.
Oh, okay.
And if you mute Periscope, you won't hear anything.
I'm like, how is Jamie talking without moving his lips?
He's talented.
My ass is a ventriloquist.
So what are we doing here?
Well, we're going to tell everybody who you are. So why don't we, in case you've never heard our theme song or seen our logo or listened to our show because it's on somebody else's server.
We called this segment "Who the fuck are you and why the fuck are you here?"
This is as far
I
as
was told before that I should have a TV show called You Know Who.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No. We have this is essentially our Wizard of Oz. This is the man behind the curtain for the show. The things that you don't know about is the things that he is responsible for.
Yeah, sometimes. That would be accurate, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
I would think that's pretty accurate.
And you hear his name every week.
I'm no longer I'm really not that instrumental. Like I used to be a little more involved behind the scenes, but I think you've pretty much put it on autopilot at this point.
Well, I had to. you have a real job, so I can't keep coming to you for things.
Right.
Yeah, one of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
Two of us work.
So everybody, this is Pumice Tea.
I'm going to have a beverage.
Saranac. Very nice. Ooh, Saranac Shirley Temple. Look out.
My daughter loves those things, man.
This stuff is like crack.
And Gail just got real dirty on the Periscope feed.
No.
I like this. 3-way. Nice.
So, yes, everyone, this is Pumice Tea. And that's all you need to know. So who is Pumice?
Well, do you want me to introduce myself and explain
Go for
some
it.
of this? All right. Well, where do I begin? Probably 30 or 40 years, 30 some years ago, I was just a regular hip hop fan or whatever. I used to actually, did I ever tell you I used to have a rap group?
No. How do you hide these things from me?
probably one of the strangest things that could exist is a straight edge rap group.
Yes.
All white dudes, of course.
Well, of course.
So straight edge rap being anti-drugs, anti-drinking. That's pretty much where we drew the line. We weren't super hardcore straight edge.
So you're like vegetarians, not vegans. Gotcha.
Neither of those.
Yes. No, but
They
for
were
comparison.
CM Punk with a hip hop group.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been a fan as long as you guys. I think you're around my age.
Yes.
But then the skies opened in around 2004 when I was building. This was before Wikipedia and before MySpace and that kind of stuff really even existed. So I was building a website called lostrappers.com. I think it's still out there, but it doesn't have anything on it.
It's just there. It's taking up space.
So I was like, because my buddy and I would always say, like, well, what do you think so-and-so is up to these days, right? Like, what is Q-Tip doing right now? And one of the ones that always came up was MC Search.
Yeah.
What do you think Search is doing today? Do you think he mows his own lawn? Do you think he takes out his own garbage? These are the things that we wondered based on success factor or lack of success factor in some people's cases. Like, well, did they get a real job? What are they doing?
Yeah, like where's Redhead Kingpin?
Right. So we
David Guppy.
He's mowing Search's lawn.
Could be.
Under his real name, David Guppy.
Yes.
Who's David Guppy?
That's Redhead Kingpin.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
It's an interesting name.
It is. Sorry, go on.
So I ended up calling the radio station that Search was working at in Detroit and just left a message. Somewhere I have his return call message because he called me back and said, "Hey, Pumice, this is Search. Call me back." So
okay.
Yeah, we played back and forth a little bit. Then eventually I got in touch with him and he came up with the brilliant idea after asking what I was doing. He said, I need to interview those same artists on my show. So why don't you call them under my guidance and you can tell them Search needs to talk to you and then you find out what they've been up to. So I'm like, that's brilliant. That's amazing. That's awesome. So he pretty much gave me permission to use him as a segue into the world of hip hop, right? So the only names that really stick out, I got to talk to Young MC, Ali Shaheed Muhammad.
So that's a big one to me.
Fat Lip from the Far Side.
Yep.
I'm sure there were more. D Nice, Chub Rock.
The Chubster.
I don't know who else, but there were a few.
Right, which is a lot more than you got on your own.
But then I continued doing stuff for Search, right? Like it never died there. Until eventually, probably 15 years later, where it's pretty clear that we consider each other friends.
Right.
Which is extremely strange coming from a fan side of it.
Yeah.
To be like, oh yeah, I'm friends with that guy. I used to have to say, I know that guy or, I work for that guy or something like that. But to the point where now it's like, no, he's a friend of mine. And yeah, it's strange, but very cool.
Yeah, I bet.
So, I mean, it went from in the beginning, you get a phone call and it says MC Search. And I'm like, honey, I need to take this. It's Search. Like,
yeah.
So now I'll talk to him later.
It's funny you say that. I got a drop from Cool Rocksky like a couple of years ago. And he was like, hey, can I just call and leave it on your voicemail because I don't have anything handy to record it on and make it worth it. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I said, just call. I said, I won't pick up. It'll just go to recording and then I can play with it later. I was out to lunch with my friend and I picked up my phone and it says Damon Cool Rock Wimsley. And I'm like, nah, I'll talk to him later. And I mute it. He's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I'm having lunch with you. He can wait.
I'm sure he's eating the fat boy after all.
Yes.
He's not. Is Cool Rocksky still? He's not fat.
No, not at all.
He's not fat at all. No, he's
right. He's like a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
So the reason I'm here really is to tell you the story of what happened over the past week.
Yes,
right?
I'm noticing.
Really 2 weeks.
Your hoodie there.
I have things that I can send you, by the way.
Oh, nice. Which that is our record of the week this week, by the way.
What's that?
That's our record of the week this week.
Good. It's a good album.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
Monday, 2 weeks ago from Monday, I get a phone call from Serge, and he's like, P, you're going to want to be in New York on Tuesday. Not the next day, but the next week.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm like, I have work. Like, the work I do is event-based. So if there's nothing going on, I could theoretically just be like, hey, I can't be in on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But in fact, we had major event on Monday, major event on Tuesday. So I'm like, and we're doing new software and stuff. So there's a lot of moving parts that it's really a bad time to take time off. And I told Serge, I'm like, I really can't. I'm like, but you've gotten my attention. Tell me what I'm missing. Right. He's like, well, the Top Shelf album, we're doing a release party for it. It's a VIP invite only type thing. And then the next day we have Good Morning America. And we've got, other press events with like,
you say Sirius XM, wasn't that?
Yeah, Sirius XM. And Q&A, like conversations with Big Daddy Kane and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I can't. There's just no way. I talked to my boss, and he was like, how about you leave Tuesday after work? I'm like, that'll work.
Yeah.
So I arrived there on Tuesday night at by the time I got to the venue, it was like almost 8:00.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I walk in, I think the first person I saw was not the first person, but almost right away I see MC Light. I also saw, I don't know if you guys would know who Faith Newman is.
I don't know.
You would notice her on like Hip Hop Evolution and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they talk about Nas, she currently has stuff to do with 2 Chainz and some other artists, but she was the record executive that did the signing for Nas.
Wow.
So she's up there. And I saw her, and I remembered her from the Third Base show, and I went up to her and I said, I don't know if you're going to remember me, but I'm friends with Serge. I was at their show. And she was like, oh, great. Nice to see you. Is he here? Because she kind of wanted to bounce at some point.
Right.
Like, she had been there waiting. So I'm like, no,
didn't you
he's
say
not
it
here
started
yet.
at like 6 or something?
I mean, the whole day.
Right. They had done stuff in the
noon.
morning.
So but the private event I think was starting at 6 or something like that. So as I'm walking around, I see MC Light, and I'm like, well, I'm not one who usually goes up to celebrities and asks anything. Like, I just look at them from a distance and say,
I saw
that's
this
cool.
person. Yeah.
Right. Unless like if it's at a concert or something where they're expecting it, that's one thing. But this seemed more like people hanging out, right? Like they're just there.
Right. Yeah. They're not there as MC Light, but MC Light is there.
Well, she is, but she's not there necessarily to interact with fans. She's there
got a job
just to be there. So this is a horrible way to introduce yourself to MC Light if you're ever going to do this. But I'm looking for Search at the moment, and I see her, and I'm like, hey, I really hate to ask you this. Well, first, thank you very much for the music you've contributed. Like, you're wonderful. But I'm looking for Search. I'm a friend of his, blah, blah, blah. And she just kind of looked at me funny, like, no, I haven't seen him. He's not here yet.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, then can I bother you for a photo? Like,
since I can't get the Search, I guess I'll just
right.
settle for a photo
I've got
with you.
nothing else to do. My friend isn't here yet. I'm just going to, take pictures with you. So I continue walking around. Other people who were there were Red Alert. I'm trying to think of the sequence of who was there. Red Alert. I don't think D Nice was there yet, but I think Chub Rock might have been there. I don't remember. I should be reading my post that I did that breaks it down person by person. But shortly after that, Search showed up. We went downstairs, and I have to open this big curtain to get to this tiny fake room that's in the basement. And I look to my left, and as my eyes adjust to the darkness, I'm like, that man sitting down there with the little glasses looks a whole lot like Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. And lo and behold, it was him.
Dr. Dre.
You know, they're saying hello to each other and catching up, I suppose. And I'm chatting with people that I don't know, but it ends up being it was one of Dr. Dre's like assistants, and the other guy might have literally been some sort of security guard because he was about 25 feet tall,
like Charlie Mack.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to make this sound boring because there's really like it's just a story, right? Like it's not a great story. The whole story goes like this: I walk around, I see about 1 million rap stars, and my head is spinning. And by the time, so I ended up meeting Red Alert.
And did I not tell you about that? Red is probably the coolest person in the world.
I talked to him about you. I said, I don't know if you know these guys. I said, but I know. I said, not only am I friends with Serge, but I also know Mr. Throwback Thursday. I think he nodded his head and like he made like a puking face.
That's believable.
We have that reaction from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if they know us, then it's real trouble.
Oh yeah.
Right. But then there were DJ sets. Oh, DJ Premier showed up, but he didn't do a DJ set. But there was a DJ set by Marley Marl.
Mm-hmm. It's a Large Professor.
Large Professor was right before him. Also, Special Ed did a little performance. T Money. T Money was super nice. Before he even knew that I was associated with anything, he was asking me how I was doing and if I needed anything. Essentially, like how are you? Everything okay?
Yeah, he's really cool. I met him one time, and I was at the Yo concert, and I was there with Fox, and Fox had done a rug for him. He did a Yo rug for him, but I ran into him, and he's like, I was trying to get past him, actually, because he had his back to me. I was trying to get past him, and he turned and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." He goes, "Did I bump you? You okay?" I'm like, "No, it's all cool, man. Thanks."
Super nice guy, like very down to earth, just like I'm here like anybody else. But yeah, it was pretty cool. They had good appetizers too. They had some sort of mac and cheese donuts.
What?
Oh, and they also had. They also had. If I say a pipette, do you know what a pipette is?
Yes.
Okay. So they had those little pipette syringes things filled with chocolate, and then the end of it was a marshmallow with like graham cracker on it.
What?
So it was like
a s'more straw.
Like a s'more. So you eat the marshmallow and squeeze the chocolate into your mouth.
This is sounding very, very strange.
It's good though.
I believe
like
you.
a s'more straw.
I would like it again.
Note.
Right.
Anyone's listening who makes these things, Pumice would
Make
like some.
s'mores. Maybe Heather can do those.
Yes. We have to let her know.
So I'm trying to think what else went on that night. I mean, it's kind of a blur in all reality, like to think of it.
Yeah, I get that.
And I mentioned to you, if I say Steve Grillo from Howard Stern, do you watch Howard Stern or listen to Howard Stern?
Not anymore. I know who you're talking about, though.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, so he was there and was texting me on my way there, like trying to get in, but everything. It's a very, like, it's another strange thing to be in the world of hip hop, and then you've got someone that you recognize from Howard Stern, and it's just very surreal.
And they're coming to you with problems.
Well, problems or like just, hey, how have you been? Nice to see you. Like, it's good to finally meet, stuff like that. Like, I was supposed to have some other friends there. I mean, I don't know if you would know who, but they were supposed to be there and meet me for the first time, but that didn't happen.
No, I blame Hanukkah, but that's that's just my issue.
I said before, in your defense and in other people's defense that I had invited, the way that I viewed this whole thing, I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
It could be
kind of
Serge
like you
and two other people, or Serge and 25 other people, and it ended up being the latter.
Right. Yeah. And by the time some of us would have been able to get there and then find parking and then try to find lodging, it would have been a mess.
Right.
I would have totally enjoyed the mess, but it would have been a mess.
I want to remember. How do I get to my? I'll get there.
Yes, so we told everyone that we may have information for them on this week's show based on last week, but then, as you know, we didn't make it. So you are our information.
And unfortunately, I don't feel like I have a lot of information other than like who was there. And I mean, it was just, that was an amazing night for absolutely sure. Like I could have ended that night and been like, this was absolutely worth being there. But then it only continued getting better or just more of the same. So it's hard to say, like, is that really where it ends? It doesn't at all.
No, I get a mess freaking Facebook phone call from Mr. Palmer's here. He's sitting next to fucking Fade from the Shirt Kings, which, as anyone who's ever listened to me speak, said that was my lifelong dream, is to be famous enough to have a Shirt Kings shirt made for me. Now, I'm sure I could have bought one, but that's not it.
But to have one like made for you just for no reason,
yeah,
or just because,
like Red Alert had them, Big Daddy Kane had them, LL Cool J had them, Milk and Giz are two famous ones that they did. It was made for them. I know none of them bought them.
So I think, from what I understand, Fade is the younger brother or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't really like figure a lot of this stuff out.
Well, if you weren't listening to Red Alert back in like 85, 86, I mean, everybody could see the Shirt Kings work, but to hear about who they were individually, what was going on with them, Red Alert used to talk about them because he was friends with them, like Fade and Nike, and so that's how I got to know who they were as individuals, not just the mighty Shirt Kings, you know.
Right.
So if I'm pretty sure you weren't getting 98.7 Kiss FM all the way up there in Southern Canada.
In Western New York, we didn't get anything.
No.
I can tell you what we got here.
Hell, we had to go to the parking lot of the Swim and Tennis Club to get it. And we're 75 miles away from it.
The benefit of living in Buffalo, we had Canadian channels.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Sesame Street in French.
Nice.
And then the other benefit is we did get WPIX from New York.
11, yeah. Well,
so what everyone knows as the stupid video game of Pix, we knew about that, but we couldn't call in. Like, that was long distance. We'd get, grounded for a month if we tried that.
And then you'd have to wait on hold, I'm sure, so you could just
right,
say,
who knows how. I think you had to catch it at the perfect time. I don't think they had hold back then. Maybe they did. I don't know.
Yeah, you had to push the button because it was WPIX. Right. They were a big company.
Push switch. Line 2.
Lady pulling the cord out and putting it in a different hole.
Well, it's not that old. Come on. Give us a little credit.
Just a little.
So, yeah, I also met Coke La Rock, who, honestly, I needed you to even tell me who that was, because I'm not that cool when it comes to hip-hop.
Yeah, it's kind of my job, man. It's
right. You're very good at it. I sent you a lot of photos.
I thank you. I was like, ooh.
So, yeah, by the end of the night, D Nice, Chub Rock, Special Ed, Lil Fame of MOP.
Mm-hmm. Fizzy Womack, yeah.
Wouldn't know anything about him. That's after my time. And then finally, I think DJ Premier was the last person I met of the night.
Yeah, and of course he sends me a picture of him with Preem, my favorite DJ. Next to DJ B. Sorry, D.
I mean, that's monumental, I think. Like, that's not somebody you just happen upon.
No.
Right. So that was
would
really
think
cool.
Marley Marl being there, that was something I would expect. You know, he's local. Red Alert being there. Red is everywhere local. For Premier to walk in, that's a big deal. Not just to me. That's a big deal for the event.
And then I'm still not certain. I didn't look this up yet. We tried looking up while we were there that Paul Rosenberg, is he the head of Def Jam?
Last I knew, yeah. I don't think he's been replaced yet.
Okay, because he was there too. He makes me look nice and small, which I felt was comforting.
He's a big man.
He's a mountain. I saw that picture too. I was like, Jesus.
So we left there by 11:30 or so, maybe midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say it's about midnight. And we get to the hotel, and Serge was hungry, and I was hungry, so I wasn't about to say no. He's like, "Well, we need to find some food." I'm like, "Okay,
yes,
let's find some
food."
Sure. But where we were, there was nothing. There was no place to go, no restaurant. Like 11:30 on a Tuesday night, there was nothing open. So we walked down to some like bodega. And I think his favorite thing about this bodega ended up being how much they were charging for cereal. So how much do you, and this is exactly the way he likes to ask everybody, how much do you pay for 2 boxes of Cheerios?
Thank you, Bill, because I don't know.
$6-7 maybe,
Jamie
depending on the
doesn't
size of the
grocery
box.
shop.
No, I don't.
Right. So for 2 boxes, it should be like $6, right?
Roughly, depending
Yeah.
on the size of the box.
These were the small boxes. These weren't even family size. It was 2 boxes of Honey Nut Cheerios for $15 on special.
That's special, all right.
That's the special price.
For $15, they should come with a midget to eat them for you.
They didn't. They didn't come with even the milk. On the way there, he was joking. He's like, "Oh, I just want some cereal. Even one of those little boxes that." I'm like, "What? Like the little box that you rip open and pour the milk in, like when you're camping?" Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. I ended up getting like a sub or something. Now, here's something to keep in perspective. Oh, Serge, what time do we have to be up in the morning? Oh, 3? 3? Really? Yeah, well, we got to get to Good Morning America by like 4, so we're getting picked up at 3:30. So, yeah, we have to be up at 3.
That's if you don't want to shower.
Right.
And make yourself look presentable.
I could tell more to that story. So 3 o'clock, or I look at I'm like, it's 1 o'clock. So we finally get to sleep. I'm going to skip the fact that he like messed with the TV remote and had like the front desk come up and fix the remote, because that's maybe personal, but I already said it, so it's too late. So 3 o'clock rolls around. My alarm goes off. I get in the shower. I get out and he's still asleep. And I'm like, well, we've got 10 minutes. Now I have to be the asshole that wakes him up and says,
"Hey, we gotta
dude,
go.
we've got 10 minutes to get down to the lobby." But he's awake and he's like, and I don't know if he was really mad at he's acting like at least that I am the one that's slowing us down at this point, and because I took a 20-minute bathroom shower or whatever. Anyway, so we make it down to the lobby in time and everything. We get to Good Morning America. Now there's a lot of confusion going on here for me. When we're at Good Morning America going through security, which, side note, they don't give you any kind of badge or anything. Don't you think they would give you like some
I would
credentials?
think so. Yeah, because otherwise,
No.
you know,
I
just
got nothing.
anybody.
They looked at my ID and said, "Yeah, you're good to go." But from that ground floor,
I get more than that trying to get into a freaking liquor store to buy booze.
right? You get, if you want to take out books from the library, you get more than that.
Yes.
So I'm looking through security through the window, and I see a studio on the ground floor, and I'm like, "Oh, that must be Good Morning America," because he's sending us up to the second floor. So we go up a couple flights of stairs to the second floor, and oh, there's another studio. That's pretty cool. But this studio has all their graphics that they've been doing for Top Shelf. So all the animated things are in the background, and that's the reason we're there that early, is because Search's guys who did the graphics needed to be able to check all that and make sure everything's good. So there's really nothing to do between 4 and 9:30 when this gets recorded.
Yeah, because it wasn't Good Morning America.
It wasn't actually Good Morning America.
No.
It was GMA.
Yeah, GMA Day with Strahan and what's her name? Sarah.
Right. So he's a pretty busy guy, right? He's got Good Morning America followed by GMA Day.
Yeah. Now on TV here, there's like a 3 or 4 hour gap between.
Right, but that's not how they.
But
That's
no,
not how
it's
they
not
do
how
it.
it goes. No.
He wants to get home by 1, right?
Yeah, because he's got like football stuff to do, or I don't know.
Yeah. So we're just kind of hanging out in the green room. And as time goes on, more and more people are arriving. And one of the first might have been Ernie Panichetti. I think that's how you say his
Ernie
name.
Panicoli, the photographer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's super nice. Recognized me because I had friended him on Facebook to ask him, like, where's really the best place to get your book?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it's brotherernie.com, which is really a forward to Amazon. So that's your answer if
So
you want
Amazon.
to get his book.
Got it.
Brotherernie.com. It's a good book. I recommend getting it. So meeting more people. You know what? I think I'm skipping ahead because before this we had done. Well, I watched the rehearsal. So Cupmaster Cool V was there, who I had not met the night before. Special Ed was there, but today he was in his pajamas. And
well, it's early.
MC Light was there, on makeup and whatnot, and Chub Rock was there. The thing about Chub Rock that I didn't understand is he wore a jacket the entire time, a coat, like a full-length coat. And I questioned it, like, well, he's not going to perform in that. That's just what he's wearing, right? But it ends up that's what he performed.
He's the Chubster. He does what he wants.
So we're just hanging out in the green room, and more people show up. Not Ed Lover. He was never there.
No.
Dr. Dre from UMTV Raps, T-Money, Fade, who I didn't know necessarily who he was at first. But it became more clear as time went on, and he either explained who he was himself or someone else did. And he's, again, like T-Money, super nice guy. We did a lot of hanging out, and Cupmaster Cool V got really deep into a conversation about, like, is disco a genre or is it a era? And it is a tough question because it isn't necessarily a type of music.
Right.
The same way you would say hip hop isn't a type of music, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was interesting to have like deep conversations like that at 6 a.m.
After getting up at 3 and going to bed at 1:30 or
right after 1 hour of sleep. Yeah. By then, was I up 24 hours? I don't think so, but close. So I'm trying to think of who else showed up that it was interesting that they were there, because none of the, mind you, Chuck Chill Out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I remember seeing the hat.
Yeah, so some of these people weren't there as part of Top Shelf necessarily. They were kind of supporting characters.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Mc... I
McDaniels?
can't think of his name.
Ralph McDaniels.
Yep.
Ralph McDaniels from Video Jukebox, or whatever it's called. You New Yorkers know what that is.
Video Music Box.
Video Music Box, yeah.
Video Music Box. So I'm trying to remember what else goes on at that point. Chuck Chill Out. There were just a lot of people, and I don't necessarily... Bill Blast, who I don't necessarily know who that is, but I made a connection with him now.
That's good. Find out who he is and see if it's worth having.
That's kind of rude to even say out loud, but I thought it.
Yeah, that wasn't your inside voice.
No. So and like Jamie had said the day before, tomorrow is Dr. Dre's birthday. And no one really mentioned it on Tuesday, but on Wednesday, after the performance, I walk into the green room and somebody had ordered him a cake, and it was Ernie and his wife's anniversary. So there was another cake. There was a chocolate cake and a white cake, and I don't know if it was supposed to be symbolic.
Now this is Dre from MTV Raps, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the one that like produced Eminem shit.
He's still working on Detox. He can't go anywhere.
I hope it was a diabetic cake.
Well, they joked about that, and he ate some anyway.
He's already lost his sight. What's?
Honestly, I'd have to say, is that 100% like he just has no vision?
He's not completely blind. No, he's legally blind.
Right.
He has a podcast. It's called Two Blind Mics.
It was sad to see him. It was sad to see him do selfies with people, and he's facing the wrong direction.
Yeah. He's.
What can you do?
I would say like in the 90 percentile blind. I mean, it's a lot, but he's not completely. I don't see anything blind.
Yeah, between him and Fife, the two most famous diabetic hip hop artists,
personalities, yeah.
Or maybe there's some that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not checking all their blood sugar. I don't know about you.
That could be your next job.
No, but Fife made reference to it. They called him Dr.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. So at some point, I had to make a game time decision when some girl from ABC comes into the room and says, everyone who's going to be in the VIP seating needs to come with me now. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. No one has told me, like, you're going to go sit in VIP or whatever.
Right.
You're
there.
I don't know where to be.
I'm going VIP.
Well, this is the thing. And I knew even as I'm making the decision, VIP means I'm sitting on stage and I'm stuck. I can't use my phone. I have to act happy and smile and clap.
I have to pay attention to everything that's going on, not look disinterested.
Right. I have to make good facial, and I'm emotionally dead most of the time, so it's not easy.
We get that.
So I knew that making that decision, because the other decision would be I could go stand like next to the camera people and stuff like that, and I'm out, as long as I'm out of the way, I'm not going to get in trouble. That's where I was the whole earlier in the day for Good Morning America. So again, I make the game time decision, and I follow them, and I get into these seats. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but this is what I'm going to do. Because at least now I know I'm going to see the whole performance, right? There's no one can kick me out of here. As long as I keep my clothes on, I'm going to be right here. So you watch the performance. I think Chuck Chilla, I didn't know that when he did the introduction, he was going to like jump off the stage. So at first I thought, did he just fall? What just happened? And they did a new take.
He's an old guy. He's
yeah. He was funny because backstage he was saying to one of the younger kids, like, you know, this is real hip hop. It's not your space music that you guys listen to. Not that space music.
Out there listening to Jam on it.
During the performance, though,
Nucleus.
I think if you watch the performance, if it's still available to watch, during the performance at some point, Ralph McDaniels like slipped on some lighting because we were on like a riser. There was like a couple stairs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They put like lighting on the risers, so you had really no place to put your feet. So he ended up slipping and like knocking stuff over. But you know, that's hip hop.
It is.
You have to expect the unexpected. And it was interesting because the studio audience was like older white people.
Of course. It showed.
So the lady sitting, so I was sitting with Dr. Dre's assistant, Dawn Michelle, and who was supposed to be at work, her day job at that point.
Oh.
So luckily she didn't get fired. Because she said, well, I'm supposed to be at my day job. I'm like, well, you better stay off camera because they're going to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But next to her was this older white lady who was asking, like, kind of, because I think Dawn had walked away. So this lady's asking me, like, so who are these and who is that? And I'm like, they're celebrities as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But I don't think I could even begin to explain who they are.
No.
All right. On this note, I'm going to break because I got something I got to get to. So I'll let you guys finish the conversation, and I will be back in a bit.
All right.
Does he actually come back in the middle of the show again?
He will.
Yeah,
How long does this go on?
I will through the magic of editing. Let's put it that way.
Oh, magic.
Ooh. Yeah.
I thought maybe he was just going to go poop.
No, that would take longer than what he's actually going to do.
No.
No, he's only going to be gone a day.
No,
he's on El Boogie time. You never know when he's going to be here.
That blase
Well, before he
run that much.
Well, he's probably not going to get this since it's going to go to Jamie. This is a tote.
Nice.
Tote bag.
Nice.
That is sweet. Oh, with the names?
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you can put your breathing machine in there next
my
time we meet up
CPAP,
for a concert.
You know, I'm wondering if this thing is big enough for a vinyl record.
All right. I'll see y'all later. Pumice, thank you.
It was good video meeting you.
Yes, we'll do this again.
Of course.
All right. I'm out, boys.
All right, see ya.
Oh, it's just us.
Yes.
Look, I get bigger.
And you
no one needed to see me bigger.
You get all Bill's information under you now, so people will think you're Bill. I'm
It
sorry.
automatically applies.
Yeah.
Mine says guest.
No.
Name.
Well, I don't know if you can see on Periscope.
No.
There's a footer, a bottom third put in there. So now when you jump in to Bill's window, you have all Bill's social media information under
right down here.
Yeah, just like that.
So I'm trying to think of where I was in my story.
Before you were so rudely interrupted.
We're at the taping of GMA Day.
Yes, and Ralph McDaniels just fell. Or almost.
Right, he fell. And then afterwards they do like a... I mean, this is the normal way that I guess that they do television. Afterwards, they record the intro saying, coming up next, we're going to do blah, 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 which has already happened. Which is interesting because at that point, Chub Rock is completely sweaty and everybody
it's Chub
has
Rock.
been performing and everything. Yeah, he's the Chubster.
He is. Word up.
He still had his jacket on because I guess it was cold.
What? Chuck,
I don't understand.
Chuck, chill out. Looked like he was wearing like a.
He was wearing a full suit. He was wearing like a tux
and a hat.
or something. Yeah, because he's not listening to space music.
Everybody who was there in comfortable clothes. Chuck chill out's there in a 3-piece suit and a styling hat.
He's on camera.
He's a fedora
dude. Be ready.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if there was anything that really like.
Well, you had an obstructed view for a while.
What's that?
You had an obstructed view for a while that you didn't tell people about. The giant mountain of a man that was standing in front of you.
Michael Strahan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was during the taping of Good Morning America. I must have gotten in his way.
I remember seeing the pictures just like all Strahan. I'm like,
yeah,
that is not the view that I would look for.
And I didn't know, and I couldn't tell from being there, and I've never watched the show. I didn't know he has a lisp. Like
he's got a gap in his teeth about that big, so.
Like, yeah, you can't make an S when you have.
No, it's like you could stick an entire finger between his two front teeth. And probably not hit sides.
So after that recording, we went. I mean, the day wasn't over. That's what makes all this kind of stuff crazy. So we went to breakfast or lunch, and then back to the pop-up thing for Top Shelf, where they did a Q&A with Special Ed, Chub Rock, Search, and I don't know the interviewer, but
was Special Ed in his pajamas again?
What's that?
Was Special Ed in his pajamas again?
No, he was out of his pajamas,
Okay, cool.
pajamas before the performance.
It's a pajama jammy jam.
Right, but I did question at some point, like, is he going to stay in his... Are those pajamas? Or, I don't know. Maybe that's a fashion thing.
Maybe.
I don't understand fashion sometimes.
It's space music fashion.
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to be like the kids. I mean, he looks like he's in his 20s. He looks really young.
I met him for a brief moment backstage at the Yo concert.
Right, and you're like, that guy's too young to be our age.
Yeah, I'm like,
I mean, he's younger than he was. Younger, he was 15.
He was the
when
youngest
he started,
in charge.
But it's not like he was like 12 or 10. Like,
no, it's not like we were 30 when he was 15.
Right. So after the Q&A, we went back to the hotel for a nap, which I think started at 4:30. And we were supposed to be able to nap until 6, which would have been a nice hour and a half of rest.
Which is 50% more sleep than you got the night before.
Right. But then Serge got a phone call at 5:30 and had to go to a meeting before we went back to the thing. So that was short-lived. And he's like, well, you could stay. I'm like, no, I'll get up. Like, let's do this. I know we're going to leave as soon as that's over. And my flight was at 8:30 or something, so I really needed to leave. Or no, my flight was at 9:30. I don't know. Either way, I needed to leave the city proper by like 7:30. So we went back to the pop-up. That time, by then, it wasn't really like a big list of anybody,
right? Because this is the general public can wander in part of the event.
I think maybe, I don't know if that hour, no, I think the general public was only available from like noon to 2 or something, or a short period during the day. And I think Static Selecta might have been DJing, DJ Scratch, but I had to leave.
Right.
So I said my goodbyes and I booked out of there.
In your private ride in your vehicle?
I had said to Search at one point during one of the rides, I said, what's crazy to me is like last night I'm looking around and everywhere I look, it's somebody that I recognize from my childhood. But then tomorrow I'm going to have to go to work and everything. And there's going to be no more celebrities around and it's going to be strange.
It's going to suck.
And he was like, well, maybe he essentially was saying, like, maybe you want to figure out a way that this could be normal for you. Like, maybe how do you get yourself into that situation? And honestly, I don't know if that's what I want. I don't know if that's important to me.
Right. If you want that to become your norm.
Right. Like, I think of like Marshall Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the fact that he finds his way into all these events.
Yeah, he does.
Bring them, a rug, which is a brilliant way to meet celebrities.
Yeah.
But then even for myself, I think, well, what does that do for me? I have photos and I have selfies, and that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's not like they're calling me and be like, "Hey, Pumice, did you have a good time Tuesday?"
Right. Yeah. No, I have one of my connections with hip hop. My fantasy football commissioner for the past 4 years is Curtis Blow.
Right. KB in the place to be.
Indeed. Up until the UMTV Rap show, I had never actually met Curtis. I mean, I talked to him online and whatnot, but UMTV Rap show.
But did you make mention like I'm a fan, or was it like you are my? It's a sports thing and we're buddies.
When I went up to him, I said, I explained who I was, from Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast.
This is when you met him in person,
right? And then he was like, "All right, cool. What do you do?" And he wanted to know about the show. I said, by the way, I've been in your fantasy football league for 4 years. And he goes, "What's your team name?" I said, "Mr. Throwback Thursday." And he's like, "Oh man, I played you last year and blah blah." And he got in this whole big, and it was all accurate information. I'm like, so he
actually does know who you are.
Yeah, he didn't know me, but he knows who I am.
Right.
But
now he can make that connection.
He can. I don't know if he will, but he can. Yeah, it was weird.
I mean, the crazy thing about Curtis Blow that I don't know if, people who listen to this certainly know this, that he produced like all the Fat Boys and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like almost all of it.
Yeah, their first video, he's their chauffeur, drives them to the beach.
Right.
In the video.
So when you hear KB in the place to be, like anytime they mention KB and then they say Curtis Blowdown.
Yep.
It all starts to make sense that that's what he was doing.
Yeah. He was fingers in all kinds of pies, man.
It's a little more religious than I usually like to be, though.
Yes, him and
so that's difficult for me. I don't associate well with highly religious people.
I don't either. When you're in a situation where it's completely, it's not involved in what you're doing, it's fine. Like he doesn't bring it into the football league. It's not.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Curtis
he doesn't
Blow's,
preach
God-fearing. It's just.
Right.
Yeah. So, but it's cool. Yeah, I got the only person I've ever gotten a phone call from, like that made me stop in my tracks and go, "Why is this person calling?" It was Eric Sermon.
And why was he calling?
I had asked him a question about a record that was on Spotify. It was one I wasn't familiar with. I'm
of his.
Yes. But it was what it was. It wasn't an actual album. It was a bunch of things that he had produced, all put together in one grouping, and was released on Spotify, so he can get paid. For the plays. So it's under his name now. So it's like I don't remember what it was called, but it was like Eric Sermon's, whatever. And like he's on one of the tracks, but they're all stuff that he produced. So
he called you to clear this up.
Yeah, I messaged him and I said, "Hey," I said, "what is this record? Because this is not the one that you've been working on." I said, "I'm unfamiliar with it." So he calls me. I'm like outside doing yard work, and my cell phone rings. I'm like, it says Eric Sermon. I'm like, this is weird, but okay.
So did you have his number?
Yes, he gave.
Or
it,
you have?
He gave it to us when we interviewed him.
Right.
At the end, he said, "You guys ever need anything? Give me a call." Blah 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 blah. And I have no reason to call.
I was going to say because the way, and I don't know if you have Verizon or what, but the way AT&T works, you get no caller ID.
Yeah, no, it was in my phone as Eric Sermon because. Right. But yeah, he's like, "Hey, so here's what's going on with that record," and he goes and breaks the whole thing down. Like, okay, we spent.
He didn't need to explain.
No, we
but
spent
he did anyway.
like an hour and a half to 2 hours with him when we had him on the show. Now, obviously, not all that made it into the show because there was stuff that had to be taken out. But so by the time we were done, I'm like, all right, I just spent 2 hours with him. That was our only interaction, for him to just pick up the phone and go, "Hey, let me tell you about this." Cool. Okay.
Right. Well, maybe You know, a lot of times people just feel like talking. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
he just needed someone to chat with.
It's possible, but yeah, it was very odd.
So while we're doing this, is anybody like? Because I'm not watching the live stream. Anyone interacting, or do you not get a lot of?
No. We, the VFU podcast stopped by and said what's up, and Jay Miner was talking about. He read Cool B's book. He said it's a very interesting book. And then we were talking.
And he said Bill is looking a lot better tonight.
Yes.
That's me trying to be egotistical, but I don't really think
Hey,
that highly of myself.
You can do that here. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's what I'm thinking.
We're very.
When I told
big
my
in
wife
Russia.
I was going to be doing this, and I said, you know, I could go back into podcasting, and she said, yeah, the Russian Federation would be thrilled. I don't know if it's the same for you, that for some reason you get statistics that the Russian Federation is listening in.
I get the Ukraine and Russia. We get actual emails asking for stickers or anything from the show. We have people interacting with us mostly through Instagram. I don't know if they don't have Facebook over there. But
I would think Facebook isn't probably that interesting when it's all in English.
No, but they sent us this one guy. Well, it's an underground hip hop collective in Russia because the police hate them.
Right.
Like the whole hip hop scene, the police are against it. And like they sent me an email saying, hey, you know, we're trying to put some music together. We wonder if you check it out because we listen to your show every week. I'm like, no, you don't. So, you know, so I wrote back and I'm like, well, where do you listen to us? You know, what do you listen to us on? They're like, we listen on TuneIn. TuneIn is big over here and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, okay. So asking more questions.
Passed the first test.
Yeah. So I like got into some questions and answers with him. And he's like, all right, he was, check it out. He said, I'm going to take a picture. He said, I'm going to send it to you because I think this is really cool. So he took our logo. You're familiar with our logo.
Right.
And he blew it up like this big. And he put it in red square and took a picture in red square with it. So I'm like, well, that's real. So
that's not Photoshop.
No. So we have listeners in Russia and the Ukraine.
In red square.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. Nobody here listens, but over there.
That's the magic of the internet.
It is. So if they're listening this week, shout out to the Wadka.
I thought there was something I was going to ask you, but now I don't remember. Oh, well.
It wasn't important.
You'll have to edit this out. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you.
Oh.
Is that if anybody's paying attention live, I was going to give away some melted microphone stuff.
Ooh. Can I win?
But I don't know if anyone's listening live. I'll just give you some free stuff.
That works.
And then you have to wear it.
I do.
I was going to, instead of this, but see, my basement is freezing. I was going to wear like my Crumbs t-shirt or hip hop is something you live.
People have seen, we mention you and Melted Mics every single week. People are bums and don't buy things. That's their fault.
I was going to say, it hasn't done me any good, but cool. Thank you.
Look, I bought the 808 shirt, the Mix Lot
you
1.
Bought stuff.
I bought the Trump Gets a Gas Face shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, John Henderson says, hey, we're listening. So there's people.
Who's John Henderson?
He's one
Someone
of our listeners. Yes.
Just a listener.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
And
I'm Pumice. Nice to meet you.
He said him and his wife Sarah are both listening, and Gail is listening, and Jay Miner is here, at Jay Miner 70.
I feel like I should apologize that they're listening. I'm sorry that we're putting you through this.
No, but you're
because
here.
I'm done with my story. I'm on the plane and I'm heading home. There's nothing interesting at this point.
I flew over and I looked down and said, "Hello, Buffalo."
I mean, I can tell this isn't that interesting, but on the way there, as you to come from the east, you have to cross over Manhattan to get to, or coming from the west, you have to cross over Manhattan to get to JFK. And I don't think I've ever flown into New York at night, but as you go over Manhattan and you look at like Times Square, it's glowing. Like it lights
like
up the
Vegas.
whole area down there. And it was a pretty clear night, so you could just see blinking and flashing. And at first I'm like, well, that can't be what I'm actually seeing. Like it should be smaller than that, right?
No.
Like, no. That whole section is all just glowing, and then there's other areas of New York that does the same. But I mean, it's pretty cool.
Cool. I went to ask you, Search is not on this album.
No.
What is
I think
Surge's?
his company is promoting it. So
Okay.
he has a multimedia company called 4MC, and I think they are doing the promotion and some of the production on some things. Is the connection there? And honestly, he's doing a fantastic job because he got it on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
And it's getting a lot of notice, and the visuals and everything that the guys have put together for it are really great.
They're cool. I've seen a lot of them.
And those are super nice guys too. Temper 3000 and Todd is the other guy. I don't think he has a fancy rap name.
That's kind of like Keith Murray, you know?
Right. Well, so they were the ones that as I'm walking through the event, I hear Pumice. And I'm like, well, who would be calling my name? Nobody knows me. And I look over and I see these guys and I'm like, I don't recognize these guys. And they look like they want to fight me. But I go over and they're like, you're Pumice, right? I'm like, it depends who's asking.
I don't know. Am I?
They're like, oh, we're Search's guys. I'm like, oh, cool. I don't even know what that means at that point. But then
So
I
I'm
eventually
Search's
figured out
guy.
that- right. And honestly, that was my first reaction in my head was, yeah, but I'm his guy that's here like as his friend. But it ends up, I don't know if they were necessarily there as friends so much as workers, because they had to work. And I would rather just be a guest. And Serge asked me that from the beginning. Do you want to? He offered, and in hindsight, I should have figured out a way to make this happen. He offered to be able to have Melted Microphones merchandise available. And I was like, I mean, because the way to do that, I'd have to order it ahead of time.
Right.
Know what to order, bring it. I honestly wanted to travel with a backpack, and that was it. I didn't bring a camera. I didn't bring anything.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if you could like drop ship it to the location. You don't have to.
I
trek
could
it
have
all with you.
probably.
Yeah,
but I also didn't know how much to have there, what to have there. So I just opted like, nope, I'll be there as a guest. I'll be there having fun.
And then you're also at that point, you're fighting against top shelf merchandise.
Yeah. And I didn't, now that I look back at it, I'm not really sure how that would have worked. So it's probably better.
You weren't walking around with a backpack full of shirts.
And honestly, I probably couldn't compete with their pricing. You saw the prices.
Yeah.
The t-shirts and the hoodies and stuff, they weren't expensive.
No, not at all. Just as a comparison, I went to the Wu-Tang show in DC. Their hooded sweatshirt, now it was the Washington sports teams with Wu infused into it. So they've changed the logos to incorporate their W.
So in other words, it has a lot of licensing going on, or no?
A lot, yes.
Right, that's why.
So $65 for a hoodie, which is why I don't have one.
$65.
Yeah, which I do not have one.
I think my house costs $65.
Look, this T-shirt.
Yeah,
I made it. Cost me $3.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not everybody has that capability.
Nah. But yeah,
my wife hates the
now.
fact that I like to just wear T-shirts and stuff because she knows that they're like $6 or $8 or whatever. You really need to wear polos and button downs.
No, I don't.
I'm not fancy.
It's not me.
I mean, I'm not you. I'm not home all day like you.
Yeah, I could walk
You
around in
don't
my
have any
underwear all day
regrets
if I felt like it.
Right.
Except when I gotta go pick the kid up from school, they frown on that.
What else can we talk about? We're probably boring people.
Yeah, but they're still here.
Hopefully, you're gonna edit all this out.
Yeah, I'll edit a whole bunch. It'll sound like almost professional.
No,
I said almost.
Okay.
No, come on. give you one of these.
Come on, son.
No, as professional as we can possibly sound. How about that?
Right.
Let's see. What else? Well, tell everybody your website. So we tell them every week, you're here. Tell them where to get merchandise.
You can go to meltedmicrophones.com. And if you're looking for stuff that's not necessarily music related, there's also black tea required, which I think you have to spell blktrqd.com.
Yeah.
I never really gave that one a whole lot of thought for radio. But Melted Microphones, you can go to Melted Microphones or you can go to mltdmics.com.
Yes.
I've got those both.
Yeah, and they will all take you to the same place where you can get cool shit.
Right. And I have ideas for new. I'm way too behind on Christmas stuff, but I have some ideas for both lines of shirts.
Yeah.
I never know, like, if people care. I occasionally get orders,
I care.
which I think is cool. A lot of people actually seem to care. They follow, they like. But then I also question, I know the techniques on Instagram
Mhm.
is to just go through and like somebody's most recent 3 photos or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I look at, they liked one. Cool. Oh, they liked the next one. And they liked one before that.
Man.
Okay, that's a spam bot.
Oh, I should follow them back. No.
No.
No, there
I was
was
looking around to see if I should give you a little show and tell.
Ooh.
I have stuff here that I think I've probably never shown you. And I don't remember how I got it.
That's the best part.
I think this is a puzzle.
Oh, nice. It's the toast face gorilla. Have
Yeah,
I told
some
you
sort
why
of
we
puzzle.
have we told you why we call him toast face gorilla?
No.
There is a grilled cheese restaurant in Australia named for him, and it's called Toast Face Grilla.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. That was one
like
of my favorite ones. I was like, I like all the play on names. I heard that one. I was like, wow, that one's really good. Trying to see
Little stickers.
Yeah. I see Search's big
Search,
head sticking out.
Chuck D.
That
I think
DMC?
or Snoop Dogg and DMC, right? Snoop is hiding. I don't know if I can get him out.
Probably doing something
Come on,
he shouldn't
Snoop.
be doing.
Come on, Snoop Lion.
Oh, he's doing reggae now, right?
There he is, peeking his little head out.
Nice.
You want full show and tell? You really want me to go through here?
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff.
As long as
One of
people
my
are
favorite-
watching, I can always cut you
One
out
of
for
my
the
favorite
audio.
songs happens to be Sitting Around.
Nice. Look, tell me, you are an aficionado. What do you think of Shaq's lyrical abilities?
Oh, they were terrible. They were awful. But there's something, that specific song is good.
I
Like,
love
there's
that
just-
song.
He didn't have to be good. Like, he's just bad. But the thing is, there's so many other guest artists on it that he didn't need to be good.
No, he's a Shaq knife, and he'll cut you with precision.
Right.
Look, for me to figure out what the hell a Shaq knife is, I would sooner be able to answer the questions on 3 Feet High and Rising's game show.
Which some of them don't have an answer.
I'm sure.
No, I don't know if I can get this.
I don't.
No.
Your French Canadian area there. What does touchet le le pou mean?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Two means you, but I don't know what the rest.
I don't
You
either.
can look it up online. There's the internet for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm one of those people that.
How many fibers are intertwined in a shredded wheat
biscuit?
biscuit?
How many times does the Batmobile catch a flat?
There's answers to these things on the internet nowadays.
Yeah, but it's
I don't know if
cheating.
you know who this is.
How many feathers are on a Purdue
I'm going to show
chicken?
this to you without telling you who it is.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if you even know.
Okay, let me switch my window so I can get a better view. Eric Cartman.
No.
No.
And I don't have a way to make it more. Well, here, this is the only way I can make it more obvious.
Is that Kubert?
Yeah.
Ah, that's hard to read.
Apparently, this thing is rare. And one of the times that I went to go see him, I brought it with me and had him sign
nice.
a hat. I've seen him a lot of times.
It's
he's
rare, and I'm just throwing it around.
You need to go, if he's ever in your area, you need to go see him perform.
I can do that. If
Because it
DJ
sounds
B
like it would
ever
be
makes it
boring.
to Buffalo, check him out.
What's that?
I said if DJ B ever makes it to Buffalo, go see him.
Not many artists make it to Buffalo.
I know. I'll talk to him.
Although Craig G seems to think that the place that he performed in Buffalo has the best wings, and I had to argue it with him. Like, no. They have good wings. They have good, like, barbecue, but that's not where you go for wings. You don't get barbecue wings in Buffalo. But if you happen to be, I guess if you happen to be performing at CBGB's, then you get them there. He also, did I tell you the Plumbus thing?
No.
I don't watch Rick and Morty. I don't know if you do.
No, I do not.
Okay, so apparently Craig G does.
Because why
And
not?
kept calling me Plumbus. He's like, and he's super high. And he's like, I'm calling you Plumbus. And I'm like, okay.
I'm thinking that should be
I'm
funny.
not, you look big and scary, so I'm not going to try to like
He
argue
is a
that
big
with
dude.
you.
He's
Yeah. So he's like, I'm calling you Plumbus because it's in Rick and Morty. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're talking
Sure,
about, but
yeah.
I'll believe you. So he's like, I'll show you. And later on in the night, he comes over or he's near me and he's showing me his phone. And there's this thing on Rick and Morty called a plumbus, and it kind of looks like some kind of weird dildo, I guess.
So it resembles you? Is that what he's saying?
Well, the name.
Yes, I kind of figured.
Is the only reason he's saying it.
Plus, he's high as hell and can't say your name anyway.
Yeah. So this is a plumbus.
Okay.
That's what he was
Doesn't
calling
look like you, no.
No, there's not much of a resemblance at all.
No.
But that wasn't it. The word sounds
Yes.
similar. Simular.
Yes. I can show you.
Do we
See this
still-
here?
I don't know if we still have more. I don't think I really have any more show and tell.
What's the record
Not
behind
hip-hop
you on the wall?
related. What's that?
What's the record behind you on the wall?
That's Beastie Boys Rock Hard.
DJ 002?
Yes. Do you know that, or did I tell you that before?
No, I know that because I have one here.
That was like LL or something?
I need a beat. Yep.
It's too far for me to go get it, but I have Flavor Flav and Chuck D. Should I go get them? Have you ever seen
you
those?
Just have them captive?
Yeah. Hold on, guys. Come over here. Hang on. I'm not going to be able to hear you for a second, so you got to carry the show alone.
Okay.
Whistle or something.
I'm used to that. Whistle while I work. Anybody out there, if you have questions for Pumice, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I would tell you to call in, but I don't have time to go through and fix all that crap right now.
Do you keep everybody entertained?
Of course. I'm a dancing
These
monkey.
guys are a little dusty. I really should put them in a box or something.
Or something. Nice. I have seen those. I've never seen them out of a box.
I'm not one of those collectors that keeps things boxed up.
No, I'm
These
with you.
are too cool.
I'm with you. That's kind of like my coffee mugs. When I
I
run
mean,
out
if something,
of room,
I figure it this way: if something is mass produced, it'll never be worth that much.
right? Yeah, I had all my coffee cups. Like when I run out of room to display them, I don't need to get any more because why am I going to have them if I'm just going to stick them in a cabinet?
I have way too many coffee mugs.
Really?
Don't
You
get me
talk to me?
started on coffee mugs.
Oh, have you seen this? Since we're doing show and tell,
KRS-One? I don't know what that is.
that is.
I see the word one.
You will see love and hate.
Oh, that says love.
It's Radio Raheem.
Oh,
as done by Ask Him.
Your boy.
Yeah. And then
that's pretty cool. I don't.
These are our coffee
I can't
mugs.
turn my computer around to show you my other stuff. I've got a framed Beat Street poster.
The greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Yeah.
I just watched
that
it
one.
the other night.
If I really crawled around, I can bring out. But that's it. I mean, there's more things here, but you'd have to come over and take a tour, and I'd probably have to clean for a week.
For me,
I don't use it. This used to be my podcast studio basement, and I don't use it anymore. And in the process of doing this, I went to hook up my like M Audio Firewire audio device.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer supported by like any computer.
That should tell you
So
it's been a
that's
little too long.
Yeah, well, and so I looked it up online, and people are saying like, so I have this $1,000 brick now that I can't do anything with. Yeah, I had my fun with it.
Yeah, but now,
yeah. So I think that's all. I have nothing else to add.
Would you care to offer?
What are you trying to hook me in for?
No. There was a question asked earlier, and I didn't know if it should be. They want to know, since we were talking about search, they want to know where Pete is.
Pete is somewhere in New York. I'll tell you what I know.
Okay.
And this is totally public information, so I don't mind saying this. And he's not my friend, and as much as he may have started out kind of a friend about 5 years ago, but shortly after the third base performance, it was pretty clear that he's kind of just out for himself and might have some paranoia. And same with Daddy Rich. Like, they're on hard times, to put it frankly.
And in not taking a side, obviously I don't know people, but in Pete's defense, he's been burned. So I could see part of
that's questionable.
Yes.
It's really hard to say.
Yes.
It really is hard to like. And like I said, 5 years ago, I would have taken his side and been like, well, someone gave him merchandise and purported it to be like actual baseball memorabilia, but
Right.
it ended up being fake.
Which is now his lifelong mission.
Right. So that made him become like on a mission to prove that this stuff is fake, and now he's going to go through everything that people are appraising, and he's going to prove that it's fake.
Yeah. Now, here's my
But
thing
I
on
don't
that.
know if that's not just like him pretending to cover it all up.
Right. Here's my thing on his mission now. If you are that good where you can spot somebody else's fakes, why didn't you spot the ones that came to you?
Right.
That's. But sorry, I don't want to interrupt your. He's in New York somewhere.
So yeah, he's in New York. He's had major amounts of lawsuits against him. He owes lots of money. So I think he tries to fly under the radar and not get noticed.
Yeah, because his
from what I
Twitter
understand.
handle isn't under his name.
No, no, and I mean, I think a lot of people have figured it out that it's him.
Yeah,
but he doesn't talk about it as if it's him.
Right.
And he just posts like flyer photos and old photos. He is certainly absolutely a collector, if not a hoarder.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I would love to see what his life is like.
Yeah.
Because he's got pictures of everything. And anything that he can get his hands on, he took. So he ends up with like the promotional flyers of everything. So it makes you think like what he was just grabbing the stuff when he's in Def Jam studio.
Yeah,
this,
on my way out the
record
door,
label.
we stick something in my pocket.
Like, oh, this might be worth something someday. I'll take it.
I can prove it's authentic. I took it.
Right. Yeah, I can validate this because I'm the one that took it from Def Jam.
No, look, it's
right.
me.
So that's what Pete Nice is up to. He at some point he did have a book about the Negro League baseball in Cooperstown, I think, and he was doing tours of some sort of Cooperstown like museum or something. I don't know. Daddy Rich, I think, was still DJing in Texas or Arizona.
And being angry. And
that's besides the point. Like he started out being a nice guy. I would text back and forth before the third base show, and we worked on trying to get instrumentals of everything. So he was cool with me then when he needed something, but once that was over,
yeah, not so
I'm
much.
gone. Yeah.
I got Pete's solo record here somewhere.
I do too. And I've admitted to Serge before, like I like that stuff, you know, and when Serge was still not super on good terms with Beastie Boys, that's a crazy thing to me. And I don't know if he's ever really talked about the fact that he never listened to Beastie Boys. He knows that it exists and he may have heard it like as much as anyone like can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But you and I sat around listening to Beastie Boys over and over and over and over
Right.
and know it, you know, every moment by heart. That's strange to me to live in a world in which you have this breadth of hip hop music that you've listened to and then take out Beastie Boys and just chuck that out. Like that part's not in there for him.
It's like, I've never
It's
heard
just
a
weird.
Public Enemy album. What?
Right. They're like, well, you know what? I do know what exactly this is like because I don't listen to Wu-Tang. So you could take everything that you like, take Wu-Tang out of it, and you've got something closer to my understanding of rap music. And anything after like 92 or 93, you could chop that off too.
Yeah. I go right up to 96, really, like to the score.
Yeah, that's way late into it for me.
Yeah.
I was done with rap by then.
I was very selective after like 90. I would say like 91, 92 is where things started to go, okay, I'm not getting everything. Like, I don't know if I really like that. Like, I'll tell you, I'm the same way, but with Outkast. You could take Outkast and just take it right out of my...
You don't have to take it out of mine. It's already out. I wasn't a big fan.
I have...
And I barely even knew.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. They were down south. They weren't... They were like Hammer. They weren't hitting in New York.
I'm trying to think, like, if I could grab my CD section of Beastie Boys is easily 15 discs or more. And just my vinyl section of Beastie Boys is really huge too. we're not going to go through my vinyl stuff
No.
because that could take forever.
I
I'm
have
just
this.
realizing like
You
I've
need
got a lot of
this.
stuff, and I need to clean this stuff up. That looks small for some reason, but it's the right one.
Yeah, it's like 1 billion pages.
Yeah. I've honestly I haven't really scrolled through it in book form, but I listened to it for 12 hours.
It's a lot
I think
of
that
listening.
counts. I think that's good enough.
Who was it? Was it Judah Freelander? Who was it?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it's one of the voices.
There's a lot of them.
I know. So, all right, you want to tell people where to find you online? I'm going to let you go because I'm going to have to clean this shit up.
You can find me personally at Pumice Tea, or you can find me through Melted Microphones or Black Tea Required. Or if you send Search a message on Facebook, it'll probably be me.
Shh, that part's got to stay behind the curtain.
No, that part's honest. I
Yes.
usually sign it, and I'll tell people, like, oh, Search can't answer right now, but, you know. But, yeah, you can find me at Pumice Tea.
Yeah, Search can't do a drop for your podcast. Oh, shit. Wait, he did? What? Okay.
I got him to get you one eventually.
Yes, I know.
But it sounded like he was saying, like, Mr. Throwback Thursday or something, right? It's weird.
It took some
That's how he
fixing.
talks.
Hold on, let me see. I got here.
Do I have a drop?
Not yet.
Everybody, MC Search.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy MC Search, third base officially in the building, Searchlight Publishing. And you're listening to my man right now, Mr. Throwback Thursday's official podcast. Let's get it popping. It is not a game, people.
So yeah, so we got that.
It's funny when that voice is just, I've heard it so much that it's just a regular person.
Yeah, it's not
right?
it's not the guy on the record. Yeah.
No, but it is.
It is.
Again,
Yeah, it's not just the guy on the record. How about that?
It's just a strange world I live in. He's the one that recommended I have a TV show called You Know Who. Because could either be You Know Who, like who's that guy? Oh, You Know Who.
Right.
Or it could be You Know Who? Right. And he has this idea like how it would work, and I'm like, Search, in all reality, that all comes back to you. Like, I'm not
I know Search.
Oh, you.
Ta-da.
Right. That's all I really know is him. But thanks to him, I've met a lot of people.
And that's
I met
cool.
What's his name? Football player. Andre Reed. But it's like a Buffalo celebrity, right?
Yep.
Like, that's not a big deal.
What the hell? Why is Firefox popping up?
Someone at the door?
Yes. It's Bill. No, it's not.
He's done shitting. So yeah, you can check me out at Pumice Tea on Instagram. Is probably the more interesting way to find me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really tweet that much, but I'm there. But I don't really. My tweets are probably just my Instagrams.
Yeah. This
More
is
than
my-
likely.
There's a whole lot of that on Twitter anymore.
I think Twitter serves its purpose, and that's news and sports.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gotten. I mean, if you really want me to tweet, it'll be interesting what I have to say every 20 minutes or so.
It's like,
Maybe I should.
be like the anti-president.
Well, there's that, but it's just also like my random thoughts, my ideas, my things that I think of. That
That's
I think,
what the
why doesn't
president
this
does.
exist?
His random
It's all the
thoughts.
same, right? Someday I'll be president.
And we look forward to that day, sir.
It'll be a good day. I have no interest, but it'll be a good day.
Let's see. John Henderson says Andre Reed was a great wide receiver for the Bills. He loved him and Don Beebe. Don Beebe,
I don't
receiver,
doubt that.
wore 2 helmets.
I wasn't a
Sure
fan
looked
back
like it. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us.
It's my pleasure. Had I known I was coming, I would have cleaned.
Details. I don't. So,
Oh,
so you don't need to.
You saw when I was away. Like, there's. Good thing I can't. Like, if I turn. Here, let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, we're gonna knock over my soda.
Don't do that. That's what I'm talking about. Lived in. Lived in.
Yeah. And the turntables are under piles of wires and
Of course they are. So you put all those wires there so Ralph McDaniels comes over, he can fall, right?
He could trip and fall, and
Yep.
I put some lighting on the floor. I really think I'm going to bring Chuck D and Flavor Flav to work. I don't know what my boss would think.
He'd probably try to auction them.
He might. I can't auction.
I noticed you don't have Griff there. What's it?
Do they make a Griff doll?
I don't know.
Griff was, when I met them, Griff was nice enough, but I still recognize it like, based on what they say in the music, that guy doesn't actually like me.
Yeah.
He's being nice because I have a camera and I can capture images and get that into the public, but he doesn't want to interact with me.
No. He's got a right to be
Weird
hostile.
reality. So, I don't know how you close this out. Just see ya, whatever.
Yeah,
Shut
holla.
me off. Just unplug me when we're done.
That's the way I
We
want to
done?
go out.
I'm just happy that it came over this mic because your other choice would be like my computer mic.
Bill does that to me all the time.
Is that working?
And
sounds like he's in another world.
Yeah, dude, your mic's not plugged in. It is. Dude, run it through the mixer. The mixer doesn't work. The mixer's brand new. I know it works. I can't get it to work. Oh, my God.
All right, well, peace out,
Hi,
America, and the Russian Federation and Ukraine.
Yes, and hopefully we will have you back on just to hang out.
Maybe I'll be more interesting next time. I need a
doubt
real
it.
story or something.
Can't be more
I'm not
interesting
watching this when it airs because I don't care.
Just as long as you download
I'm
it, I
hitting
don't care. Give me the download.
Yes, I'm hitting the leave button.
Yep. So you can leave.
But it's kind of like a family event where you're like, all right, I'm heading home. I gotta go. And then you keep getting sucked back in.
Did you ever watch Saturday Night Live when you were younger?
Yeah, when I was
like
a kid.
in the John Lovitz era?
Maybe.
He had this one character, Eddie Spamozo. And he would always like, I gotta go. What?
Oh yeah. I remember that.
That was my
He was
favorite. That's what happens.
That's me
here.
right now. Like,
Yeah.
Am I really leaving? Apparently I'm not.
Don't worry. In the audio version, you'll have left 20 minutes ago.
Oh, thank God, because this part was boring. If you're still listening, this part was boring.
They know.
And how much of it is video?
Well, what we do here, for everybody who's watching, the video is a constant live feed until we're done. So probably going to be like 3 hours worth.
So then it turns into just an audio podcast.
Right. So this
Oh,
will.
thank God. This is your only chance to look at me. Hope you absorb it.
No. Your picture is going to be what we put out with the show this week.
Can I send you a different headshot?
No, but I may make one. We'll modify this photo.
Let me get some better lighting.
Shrink your head down.
Selfie.
You look like that dude from Men in Black.
Yeah, that's not better. That didn't make it any better.
Yes. So yeah.
All right.
Once again, seriously, thanks for
Photoshop
stopping
my
by.
face.
I got you. And we will see you again
Peace.
soon.
Yeah, we'll be around.
All right.
Next time, maybe you'll actually come to an event that I invite you to.
Yeah, I told you. I'm blaming Hanukkah. That's
Oy vey.
Indeed.
All right.
All right, take care.
Peace.
All right. So for anybody who's left, I would normally go through the rundown here of thanking our sponsors and sign off and all that. I will, even though Bill is going to do all of this in post, I will thank our patrons. So we're going to shout out to Gail Dunmeyer, Manny Baez, Fred Dietrich, Sarah and John Henderson, Hugo Gonzalez, and Sanket Patel, because they got 5 on it or more. And if you want your name mentioned here every week, become a patron at patreon.com/MrTBT. Everything else we will clean up in post, and it'll sound like, this was all one big piece. So you guys who are here should feel special because, you got to see and hear things that nobody else did. So until next time, keep it classic. And always remember, new school stale, old school fresh. thanks everybody for sticking with us for so long and, putting up with a jacked up show. Hopefully this will all be fixed by the time you actually get to listen to it on Thursday, if you choose to listen to the mess on Thursday. Guess that's about it. See you next week. Bye.